Guys, John, the Everyday Collector, won our hot seat last month with a he rallied like Bane, as they say.
Just
with
barely beat me.
I know.
Double
close.
Oxfordy. And he messaged me, said, "Hey Zach, I wanna cash in my minute at the beginning of the show."
Yeah.
And John, the floor is yours. Everyone's gonna mute their mics, and we're gonna hear what John has to say for the next minute.
I appreciate that. I just wanted to, before we start the clock, I just wanted to get out kind of the negativity out so we can have an amazing show. But you can start it, Zach, whenever you're ready. You started
You're
it?
good. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not really a clock.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Approximately a minute.
I thought it was on the time. I thought this was Pose Wars for a second.
Chris.
So, I'm bothered. I'm bothered a bit as to some of the comments I'm reading in the community because it's frustrating. It's frustrating because we're getting so many new collectors into the community. I'm personally trying to make the community a better place, and I see so much so much baloney in this community. The comments that I think need to be, think before you post a comment like this. Oh, why does this person talk about this collectible if they don't have representation of it on a camera? Why does these group of guys talk about this if they don't even buy the stuff? Like, am I in the multiverse? Am I lost somewhere where now money is what drives the ability to come here on this YouTube channel and discuss a passion? Does a history teacher who teaches, a professor who teaches in a university, was he in World War II to be in front of that class discussing the events of World War II? No. He studied. He has knowledge. So just like other people have passions. Money doesn't necessarily need to talk. People have priorities, right? People have priorities. This is a hobby, should be inclusive of everyone. Everyone is welcome in this hobby. Not just because I can have a blank wall behind me. If my passion is talking hot toys or statues or comic books, nobody in this community or in this world has the right to silence another person because they don't have representation. Because you're looking behind the person, but you're not looking in front, to the left side, to the right side. So guys, get over yourselves. Try 2023, new year. We're still in time. Let's be respectful. Let's be inclusive. It's not about how much money you're spending. It's the passion that you have for the hobby. All right, we'll leave it at that. Lots more to say. I only got a minute, so I got to win this month as well. But Zach, put away this crap. Let's have a great show. Kick that intro.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
You're mute.
Wow.
I double checked the mute because God damn it.
Jeez.
Great start.
I just preached.
Hang on. Let's roll the intro again.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
John?
I'm John's campaign manager, vote Everyday Collector for Canadian Prime Minister 2024.
Rock on. Move over, Trudeau.
And I'm Ben.
Ben, I don't think your mic is selected or something.
Hate to see it.
And we're getting some feedback from someone. Oh my god, this is a terrible show. Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. It's our 250th episode, Dean, and that means we've been doing this for almost 5 years, every week.
250?
If you
I didn't even realize it.
If you do some quick maths, Dean, that's almost 5 years. And we have some wonderful things to talk about. We have probably, arguably, maybe one of the greatest prototypes I've ever seen, one of the most fun releases I've ever seen. And, some of us are feeling a little bit defeated by some customer service interactions that we're going to talk about on tonight's episode. Dean, before we get into this amazing 250th episode of Collecting Weekly, we have a very special segment that all the best shows start out with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What did you get new this week? I had a pretty good week, guys. It was pretty good. A lot of small stuff, but a lot of good stuff. Zach finally found
month haul right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A little bit. Zach finally found me a Knuckles from Sonic the Movie 2. I have not found one in the wild since the movie came out. It's been like a year already. So,
wow,
that was nice. Also got a hold of Amy, which was huge. She's like a $30 figure on her own on like Mercari and stuff. So Rainer found me Amy and Espio, which is cool. If you guys know anything about the Chaotix, Espio's like their leader. They're like detectives. I don't know. They changed their story around, but I think they're like a group of detectives. And then Zach printed me this beautiful little 3D print of Ronnie, my wife, my consort eternal.
That's awesome.
So lovely. I loved it. I was like, thank you. I didn't even know he was giving it to me. He showed me he had printed it a while back, but he gave it to me, so that was a nice surprise. Also picked up this Sonic from Sonic the Movie 2. It's like a, I don't know, 6 or 7 inch figure. It's cool. It comes on like this like gimmicky fucking skateboard, but I took it off.
That's huge.
Huge, yeah. Also, Rainer hooked me up with the school. What's their names? Boss and oh my god, what's his name? Fixer. Thank you. Boss and Fixer from the Republic Commandos. So just waiting on the last one that comes out in February. And then also I got the rest of the Chaotix. Next slide, please, Zach.
Sorry, my thing is like glitching out.
I think it's StreamYard. It's everything. It's even on my end.
Charmy B and Vector, the other part of the Chaotix. This fucking little Charmy B dude, it just came out maybe like 2 weeks ago. Motherfucker, they were selling for like $150 for this little thing.
What? For that?
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the cheapest I've ever found it was like $45 by itself, and I was like, "There's no way." And then the other day, miraculously on Mercari, one of them popped up for $17, and I was like, "That's still like 3 times how much it costs at retail, almost 4 times." But I'm not gonna waste time driving around town wasting gas hoping to find it, so I just bought it, and then Vector to go along with him. His buddy, so that's cool. And then a nice surprise, I got this beautiful Punchline hardcover comic book from Marco for Christmas. I didn't even know I was getting this. He just sent it.
It is
so
Christmas
beautiful.
And your birthday gift, Dean.
Christmas and my birthday. Thank you. Yes, I did not own this before. I have like the comic, but I believe this is several comics. So thank you.
Awesome. I was glad you didn't have it. I was a little nervous.
So, yeah,
I was so
No doubt.
confused. I got like 2 packages, and I was like, I didn't order anything. And then I opened them, and I was like, I definitely didn't order this. And then I was like, shit, maybe it's like my neighbors or something. But I was like, well, and then I looked inside the box, and there was like a gift slip. And then the second box, I was like, I wouldn't buy this either. And Mark was like, oh yeah, I got you something too. I was like, well, that's cool. And I was like, I wasn't expecting anything, so I had to explain to Victoria I didn't just buy like this omnibus and this figure that.
She's gonna message me. You're buying Zach a lot of stuff recently. What's happening here?
Wow.
It's gonna be his excuse every time.
Marco,
yeah, he's just gonna. Someone said that to me.
Marco
Yeah,
only gave me the gift of his friendship this past
Damn.
year. So
That's
Ben,
like
I
a
do
pretty
have
good
that.
it was
gift.
good though. I liked
Marco
it.
doesn't even look
I
at
didn't
me.
have that the year before. So
Well, just so we're clear, John's getting nothing, but Ben, I do have a game to send to you. So I
Wow.
need to get your
Yeah,
address and
right,
send
I
that
forgot
finally.
about
No,
He invited me to his
John,
stream once. I was honored. I was
No,
like, wow,
John.
really? It's my time? I don't have any
John,
hot
I
toys
gotta-
behind me, though.
You're like, I'm not
I
Latin,
gotta
but
send
okay.
you something too. Yeah, gotta send all my boys something here
You
soon.
guys are too much.
Yeah, so that was my new this week. What about you?
I got a pretty cool new this week. So
Hey,
I actually may have 2 of these coming, different paint schemes, but Rainer had one, and we may be working a trade out. But this is the 2003 Micro Series Republic gunship, the Tiger Shark Hunt for Grievous special edition. And I got a really good deal on it. It's missing some pieces, but I have a 3D printer, so I've already printed all the pieces that it's missing. And I'm excited for it. These are pretty expensive. I found a good deal on it, and the listing that I found, I think it came with like 10 clones. I won't be using them because they're the older style of clones, and I like the new ones a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. But I also have one maybe coming from Rainer. We're kind of like half confirmed on a trade. So in theory, I'll have one for like some 501st troopers that I've been working on. And then for hopefully I'll fill out a little bit more of the Munilis 10 look for that. So really excited for that. I've been I said this year I wanted to start picking up like things that are pretty collectible. And so I own the Falcon, I own the Razor Crest, and I felt like it was finally time to get a gunship. You know, there's other ships I want to get, but yeah, this thing is really good. So Vintage says that's the hottest gunship. Never seen one of those sold with the sold separately bubble guns attached. I don't know what he's talking about. Is that thing on the wing?
I think so.
Yeah,
I thought
there's
those are.
They have gun pods on the wings, but you could also get the ones that attach.
Yeah, for the front. Yeah.
Yeah, mine have those, but I have like the not great ones. There's like really cool ones you could buy. I just have like the regular ones.
Yeah.
So Zach, are you going to apply a wash to this at all, or is you just want to keep it clean? Like
so
the
this is really dirty. Like it's, I don't know if you can tell from the photos, but it is like dusty. Like I think someone found it in a garage sale, and just based on that person's page, like that's all they do. So I'm gonna clean the shit out of it and get it real nice and spick and span, and then I'm probably gonna do a wash on it and get it real dirty. But you got to get all that crud off of it first, and it's gonna be really fun. But it comes with the 2 pilots, but I think they're the ones that are in the spaceship steam because they have like that oxygen mask and like the open face. So those technically won't work, but I think for now they'll be okay. But
yeah,
I'm really
those
excited
pilots
about
are only for the ARC 170.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Checking
in. The gunship pilots are the clones with like the yellow stripes.
But is that for Phase 2 also? I'm not sure. Those are the Phase 1 versions. That's the thing I was going to ask you about.
I'm pretty sure
but
it's
real quick, checking on the chat, we got Toy Mafia, May the North be with you, Vintage Rebellion, Tukatria, Lane Kramer, Dante's Boneyard, Toy Mafia, Badfish. We have Rainer. We also have Lane says purposely not looking at the DeLorean pics. Don't want to, oops, I did it again. Dante says he's going to snag up the DeLorean. The question is whether I pre-order it or not. Thor Gaming, David Jones, PT Work, Ninja Squirrel, SpongeBob, Square Balls. Thomas, I think we're almost confirmed on a day on Pose Wars, so let me know if you're feeling up for it. Badfish, on the last episode, House of the Dragon, the opening scene was nasty. OG fans, Sunnyvale, Irwin, Vane21, Doc Smizzle. They are never late. Something must be wrong. And Vane says John must have the start button tonight.
I hate to see it.
No, that's my
John
fault.
was
It's
shaving.
okay.
Wow.
16fix in the chat. John Ortiz, Pablo Meza, Yomo, Alvin J, Tyria, Punisher XS. Who else do we have here? Arc, Fordo, Useby. I think he's talking to you, John. Even people that buy reissues. Bobby D, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Dennis Perez. We also have Justin Sports Cards Museum, Sean Lockridge. Erwin says 250th episode. George Moss, Jazzy. Dang, this list gets longer and longer. Vintage Rebellion, that's like $500 in box. Not a bad price for a Hasbro piece. I got this at a really good deal. The person had it for $250, and I sent them a message, and we worked out a much cheaper price, and it was free shipping. So, and it's like 18 inches, so I know shipping wasn't inexpensive on that one. But I'm very excited to have this, and I do plan to do a little bit of a video on cleaning it up and repainting it, and kind of replacing the parts that are missing with 3D printing. So it should be a thing. I always say I'm gonna make videos, and then I film them and I never upload them because I feel like they're not good enough. But hopefully this one will be good. So there's that. We have hot seat today. We got 4 lovely gentlemen here, and we have 4 of the hottest questions that you can imagine. And we're starting over with week 1. But starting us off for the news, and this show's going to be a bit weird. Normally we do like pre-orders and releases. It's going to be like all Hot Toys stuff and then all Inart stuff. That way it's just easier for us and we don't have to flip-flop. But the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi 279 releasing January to June 2024. It seems like Hot Toys is digging deep in the catalog of things that we were either shown or kind of teased and just completely left on the table. We've seen the Super Battle Droid, we've seen Padme, and then now we have this. And I gotta say, it sucks that we have to wait that long to get it, because Anakin will be almost 2-3 years old by that point in people's collections. But I'm so glad that they went back and did this. I think this looks freaking fantastic. I think the price is pretty good. I don't mind the portrait. I've seen some people that didn't like it. And I'm also trying to pin down specifically, and I know you mentioned this as well, Dean, the episode or episodes where he wears the cape with the helmet, because he doesn't normally rock it the way that it's shown.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. I've looked since this figure came out.
Yeah.
The only thing I could find that's similar to this is the Sideshow Mythos statue.
The Sideshow Mythos statue, and then also there's a 3.75 figure of this exact look from when the Clone Wars show first started. But when I skimmed through the episodes, I couldn't find the helmet.
Yeah, it does look so good.
Does
with
this
it.
look,
It looks so good
looks
with
cool.
the helmet. I almost
so
want to
good.
display him with the helmet instead of the portrait, to be honest.
It looks
the helmet
fucking
looks so good.
fantastic. What do you guys think about this? It's not a pickup for me. I haven't invested. Vintage. This isn't quite accurate to the show's acting, is right. Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. But I think it looks good. And honestly, with a lot of these figures, they're giving us like different options that aren't technically screen accurate. Like we saw, like the different Clone Wars style parts that they're throwing in with some of the Clone Wars movie figures. And so I'm not complaining that we're getting an extra cool accessory. We are paying for it, but to me, it really puts a bow on this figure, right? I think without it, I don't think anyone would have complained, but with it, it's like, damn, like that's a whole nother.
Yeah,
badass
especially
display
because
option.
you could take it off. You don't have to have it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that adds a whole other dimension to it. I think this is a pretty solid release to go with the Anakin. I think it's great. To me, Episode 3, Anakin and Obi-Wan are like the epitome of those characters. So I don't see myself ever owning this one or the Anakin. But goddamn, they look cool. And people that miss out on those original ones have a chance to have a really cool Anakin and Obi-Wan. So I think it's solid.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic to see this finally come to fruition. This, and we saw the Padme finally. I think Howard had this in his back pocket, and I think, to be honest, he played the cards at the perfect time because people are super pumped. Between Mace, Padme, and Obi, that's a big move to do all within a month. So kudos to them. I think the portrait's good. The representation on the portrait, I'm satisfied with. I think it's there. It's not like a Mace situation where in certain angles, like I think Mace definitely needs some work. This one it's enough. There's enough there to warrant purchasing it. But having that helmeted option as well, fantastic. I think it was well played, and it's a really nice release. Congrats to everyone who's going to pick it up, because this is going to pair perfectly with that Anakin.
Yeah, I hope that Gigi doesn't watch this show back after her class because I'm going to be very positive on a lot of figures after being pretty critical for several shows.
Mhm.
I think this is the best non-original trilogy Obi-Wan that will be on the market. Like I love this design. It's just so intricate basically, and there's so many different looks you could have with it. I really like the sculpt. And when I consider pre-ordering figures, which I don't do very often, like I categorize, are there ones that I don't want to miss out on at all? And, not really knowing the rules of pre-ordering moving forward, I had to get a PO on this one again. No shipping or very little shipping and no sales tax, but I had to get my PO in because I think this looks really terrific. And I already have that Anakin, and I think they're going to pair very nicely together.
I mean, so for me, it's an interesting one with this Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mentioned this the other day to Marco and I think Will. And you guys always make fun of me, I get it. But I was legitimately in bed when I was looking at this figure. And at first, like the first picture that popped up, I'm like, ooh, like, okay, that looks pretty good. And then I flipped to the next one and I was like, well, like, maybe. And then the next picture was like, oh, okay, though, like, yeah, I'm seeing it. And then I put my phone down and I legitimately felt like stressed because I knew at some point you guys were going to be like, what do you think this looks like? And you don't want to give the wrong answer because everybody's going to see this sculpt a little differently. There were some photos of this one that I think look absolutely bang on to Ewan McGregor, and then there are some that just aren't quite there. So I would give it somewhere kind of in that 8.5 range. What I like that they've done with this figure is the paint applications. I think the skin on his face looks really good. They've given him kind of his mole on his forehead back. I don't know why that disappeared from the Kenobi show figure, but for whatever reason it did. He just looks more like the actor himself, which I think is really cool. I like Dean's point about this being a little bit of a hybrid, because I think that's still unique for a collecting or for a collection, right? So I think that's pretty cool. This one won't be one that comes for me, but I agree with you, John. Like, Inart's been getting a lot of great publicity lately. I mean, way to go, Howard, for just kind of releasing the floodgate of figures that people have been looking for. I just go back to the consistency with Hot Toys. I do still prefer quality over quantity. So I'd rather see some of these bake in the oven maybe just a little bit longer, especially some of the figures that we are most anticipating, like a Mace Windu or even this Obi-Wan, and similar to what they gave us with that Anakin. That Anakin looked amazing. Keep these in the oven a little bit longer if they're our favorite characters. I'm willing to wait just a bit longer to get it as bang on as you can. But
Zach, I sent you something afterwards on Messenger if you want to show it.
Yes. Let me pull.
It was
Is
from
that a reaction to Ben
Equan.
banging right there, or what?
I was banging?
Yes. Yeah,
What?
we can show that here
You
in a
said
second.
bang on. It was a joke.
Oh.
Yeah. Here, in fact, we'll show
Thought I was
this here.
tapping
I thought
my
just
microphone.
quick, just so
I
we
was like,
can
what?
clarify.
Yeah, so
Equan shared
this
it.
is same but different.
Same.
So this is what Equan sent us. So yeah, I mean, this is certainly, I guess, kind of what that's going for, but I don't know
But he
that
has
he
a
has
whole
the
robe.
He has a whole robe, but also I don't think this figure has every single part of the clone armor, because
No,
in the
well,
2D anime he's
yeah.
basically wearing a suit of armor.
Clone armor with
With,
Jedi.
like,
I think
a
they're
little bit of
pulling
robes.
from different directions to get the
exactly.
representation. Yeah.
Which I like it. Like,
Yo,
I don't-
definitely.
I don't hate it.
Equan.
So yeah.
Did Equan send this to us to prove us wrong?
No, it's not about proving wrong. It's informing the
I was
community,
like, bro,
and that's what
don't
this show
come for me,
does.
Equan. I love you,
Speaking
bro.
of coming for Dean,
Jesus.
Dean, this month we saw Padme, we saw the Super Battle Droid, we saw Clone Wars General Kenobi, things we never thought we would see or that Hot Toys may have left on the table.
That's true.
What prototype, coming soon figure, or previously teased figure, or figures, do you think we will see next, and why?
Oh man, previously teased. Well, they already did Mace, Django, Padme. I never thought I'd see Padme. Let's see, from specifically the clone Attack of the Clones. Or
Anything.
any property. Oh man, I don't know. I don't have an answer. 'Cause they've just been fucking releasing everything. I don't know.
All right, the seat was too hot for Dean.
Yeah, I don't
we'll
have
pull
an
it back. All right,
Those are hard
let's.
ones. Those are hard ones because your mind goes everywhere all at once, and then you're like, I can't think of anything.
Okay, well, we'll
we
move
even
on.
saw fucking Mantis. Like,
Should we
of
should we
all
mention
the
a few?
figures, they've
Yeah,
already.
I'm thinking Bespin Han Solo. I think that's one that's been left on the table.
Kit Fisto.
For a while. Yeah, Kit Fisto.
Did they ever show a Kid Fisto?
Yeah,
They did.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
they
so.
did,
I think
yeah.
it was in the background of a figure.
Back
I
of his
think
head.
a 2.0 Chewie. I want to say that we've seen a gold armor 3PO.
I was gonna say
piece
Han Solo,
before.
but I legitimately don't think we'll ever see another Han Solo again.
Well,
I think the
fair
gold
enough.
armor 3PO we saw was from one of the sequels, right, with the red arm.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. That was from The Force Awakens. I don't think we'd ever see Poe. I don't think we would ever see Shazam. I think those are just never, ever, ever going to see the light of day.
And that N1 Starfighter Andre is mentioning here in the chat. I forgot about that one,
yeah.
but that
There you
could
go.
come. I could see that.
In that same breath, I've been saying the Vulture would be released as well, and that's another one.
Yeah, there
that-
you go.
It's not looking so hot.
I don't know. It seems like they just put that shit out there to mess with the third-party companies.
No doubt.
Now, Hot Toys, we did talk about this last week, but I feel like we've gotten much better photos. But they released the DeLorean. We have some blogger photos. I pulled 4 or 5 photos here. And we also, yesterday on Unboxing, we watched the Sideshow official unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, this is nice. This came out really, really good. I love the lights. I love the improvement on this. And again, I always say you shouldn't bank on Hot Toys improving a prototype, but boy, when they do, it's fucking sweet. I like the stand. I think it looks very classy. And I think overall, I think that they've given us a really nice product, and I'm excited for my fellow collectors that we're able to get this. What do you think? I guess, John? I think Dean stepped up for just a second.
Oh, there he is.
You go ahead, John.
As close to perfection as you can get, I think. So now that we're getting the full details on this piece, this is an example of a 2.0 where they went ahead and did re-engineer the majority of the vehicle compared to the first one. The jig that holds if you compare the back of the vehicles, the Mr. Fusion compared to the first vehicle, that whole area there is rejigged. You will not get the look from the first vehicle if you're a collector that wants screen accuracy. They went back. This is what Hot Toys needs to do, and they're doing it this year. What they've been putting out recently, besides maybe the Mace portrait, other than that, they're bringing good product to the table, competitive product. This DeLorean, if they keep up at this rate, you're going to make a lot of people happy. This is, I think, as close to perfection on the DeLorean as you can get. The upgrades they've done from even the first one. Am I the word's not pet peeved. Am I still peeved that they did it this way? Sure. Would I have preferred straight from the beginning they kind of take this into account and do the first and second scenes with the first release? With the flying and the grounded version? Because realistically, let's be real. When it comes to market now, what would you go after? Like, I wouldn't even necessarily look at the first one. And I understand the back is rejigged and so forth, but I think this representation of the DeLorean is really all you need in the collection. You have it on all 4 wheels. You have it in the air. I think this is enough.
I think you are correct, but I also don't think that the first one is just like a paperweight now. I still think you'd be able to get what you paid for the first one, and probably, when both of these sell out, I think they're both going to command a pretty high price.
The first one was hitting market at $15,000 to $2,000. Do I think that's going to take a little bit of a hit? I have to check. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah.
But I think this is a banger. The fact that they went back to the drawing board, listened, and made the fixes with the tires.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
In my opinion, this is like perfection.
Yeah, John, I'm just about go ahead, Dean, and then I'll jump in.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know enough about the series to speak on it, like what makes it different from the first one. So I will say it looks cool. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, so if you recall, I had the Tumbler on pre-order. I canceled because it had gone on significant discount. I have yet to repurchase, but I've had this DeLorean on pre-order since day one. Again, I locked in a pre-order because the shipping was like 15 or 20 bucks and no sales tax. I'm like, shipping just keeps going up and up. I don't want to miss out on this. I want to pay like a minimal amount of shipping. So I cannot wait. I'm so enthused that they went ahead and made the updates that everyone was asking for. This is my favorite version of the DeLorean. So far, I only have the Marty 2.0, and I'm okay with pairing him with this, but I know some will say, well, it's not quite screen accurate. I don't really care about that. I do say I want these Back to the Future 2 figures released again, or 2.0s of these that they're kind of showing in here, or I think they're showing them with the original, but I have very few complaints. I think that they've gone the extra mile with this vehicle, and it's kind of proven the price point. We know Inart's doing one, but I think they're going to be very hard pressed to give us equal value. So when I say equal value, let's say theirs is $1,500. Are they going to be able to improve that much over Hot Toys coming out at $825 with a lot of bells and whistles? So very eager to see, but cannot wait to get this in my collection.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there, Marco, because that is the next hot seat question. So for you, what improvements, if any, do you think that Inart could do? And I guess if you want to guesstimate a price, because we don't have one yet. So what do you think?
Yeah, so I would say more premium materials, obviously knowing that this vehicle is a lot of plastic, right? So maybe they add some additional metal. That's going to, of course, drive up the price. I would say somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. I mean, we're paying over $1,000 for two Jokers, so wouldn't be shocked if it was more than that. But that feels kind of like the stress test for the market. Anything beyond that may be a bit ridiculous. Maybe paint application as well. I think what Hot Toys has done here, from all the videos and photos I've seen, looks pretty damn good. But perhaps Inart can take it to the next level. So we could see based on that. Also, if they added a figure to it, right? We know that the Doc Brown that has been put out is pretty weak. It's one of Hot Toys' weaker releases. So if they came out with a banger Doc Brown that was kind of like the ultimate version of that character, then they could maybe have a leg up on Hot Toys and kind of jab them a bit. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, maybe some additional light functions or stronger lights, or maybe an internal battery might be another way.
Very
add
good.
to that, Zach, as well?
Yes, please.
I think they can figure out a way to have the swap outs so everything comes in one vehicle.
Would that include the third movie for you?
It wouldn't include the third
wheels?
because the third has some weathering. Weathering. I can't even speak tonight. So I wouldn't include the third vehicle, but from the first and second, the swap outs of Mr. Fusion and the other one, the regular, I could see that happening. Real materials, like maybe the leather seats or so forth. I think it's going to be a little bit more attention to the finer details.
Yeah.
But this, it's like Marco said, the price point is where it would be scary to look at.
I can't even think of it coming in less than, and I was people were taken aback on the unboxing last night, but $1,750, $2,000, like easy.
Especially for our market, if they don't have the license here, what is it going to cost to ship over here, right? You got to add
plus shipping,
a few hundred on there. Yep.
Jesus.
I like that Jazzy was saying that it should actually be able to go back in time as well.
There you go.
I think that's a good
RC
take.
would be a good addition as well.
Really?
RC would be kind of cool, but I don't think. Can you imagine taking a $2,000 Inart?
Would be really fun.
Street?
Absolutely no way.
RCs are pretty expensive, bro.
So
That's
the Mattel Batmobile that I have, it has like a smoke effect. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. A lot of people do toy photography and they usually add smoke to the pictures. And in the movie, it's always like going real fast or hitting the brakes real hard.
Oil?
Okay, you fucking guy.
You don't want your car smoking, bro. Especially DeLorean, bro. Parts are hard to find.
There you go. Ben, what do we think about this?
So I've got this coming. this year. I'm quite excited about it. Next to the Jokers, it's by far the biggest purchase of the year, and then that's going to pretty much tap me out this year, I think. So, but I'm excited. I've got a little corner of my man cave down here that I'm going to try and create like a parking lot diorama display. I know this is from the second film, but I think I'm going to be able to kind of futz with it with my 1 and 2 figures anyways, as long as Joao Brett is still willing to be friends with me after I pair those Back to the Future 1 figures with this car. I'll be cool with it, but I think it's going to be a really cool display. In terms of the car itself, I think it looks phenomenal. I'm really excited about the light up display options and stuff that it comes with. I do think that the hover converted tires are a bright enough LED. I know there have been some streamers out there saying that it's not quite bright enough. I don't see it. I took a look at through the movie again last night. I thought they were pretty accurate. So I'm very, very excited about this one coming. I think the only thing that I would have changed about this release is how cool would it have been if we got an announcement for a new Marty McFly and Doc Brown Back to the Future 2 versions with this car. You know, no indication that they were coming, but surprise, here's the DeLorean, and here are the figures that you can expect to buy as well.
That would suck.
It would suck for your wallet, but it would be pretty cool to see. Now, the only thing is, I do really like my Doc Brown one. I know Marco was just saying it was one of the weaker ones this past year. I get the criticisms. It's still easily one of my favorite figures in the display. I think she's bad, or I think he's pretty badass. So
all the accessories alone make that figure worth owning.
And it catches my eye every time I walk past it. It just catches my eye. Super nostalgic when it comes to Back to the Future, though. So this will be coming to my channel and my house here. So when I get it in hand, maybe I'll do the unboxing with you boys, because I don't know if I can take that level of excitement all by myself. It would be fun to share it with the chat and you boys. So
I love it. I'm excited for your parking lot diorama. I've messed with doing asphalt, and it's really easy to do a spray paint. Though you have to figure out a way not to make the wheels interact with the paint.
Yeah.
But if you get dark gray paint and you spray it on whatever you're doing, and then from above, like a really high distance spray, light gray, white, and then a tiny bit of black, and when the paint falls, it'll dry while it's falling, and it makes a real nice texture.
Like a texture?
Surface.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a really easy way to do it. It takes like 2 seconds.
I will hit you up for some more advice when I get to that point, because it's going to be the first diorama display I've ever tried to construct.
Yeah. Nice.
And so I'm excited for it. Really excited for it.
So Ben, you were talking about the figures that they showed with the blogger images, right? Or the Back to the Future 2 figures. Should we read anything into them using those figures for these photos, given that they're not available right now?
Dude, I hope not, but it wouldn't totally surprise me if they just reissued the same ones, especially after what we just got with the Doc Brown head. I mean,
they've already got the holes ready to go.
I mean, literally, he's got the holes, and it's the same sculpt. So, I wouldn't surprise me. I just think it would be, I don't know, like John, who doesn't love reissues, has credited this DeLorean with reinvigorating the model. They've given it more. They've updated it. They've taken this one to the next level. Why would you want to put the old figures in it at this point? Let's see the next generation of what they can.
How are you going to reinvigorate the figures like you did this DeLorean?
The head sculpts mostly. The likeness and the paint apps and all of the things are just not 100%.
Correct, but the difference between that and this DeLorean is, at least with this DeLorean, your original is still collectible, as in the sense it's still
exactly. Oh, I see. You're feeling that it would take the value away entirely.
It wouldn't take. It would
figures.
Absolutely diminish.
Yeah, it would. You're not wrong. It absolutely would.
I've tried the textured paint in a can, but I could never get it to look as good as doing it the old-fashioned way. But yes, if it's something that you're having difficulty with, 100% fall back on the texture spray.
Cool.
The reason is it's very uniform. And in a road or an asphalt, there is subtle variances. But yeah, of course, that's a great backup. Trevor says it's $3.45 to ship from Toys Wonderland. Yeah, this is awesome. This is one of the few times I've ever been I don't want to say few times, but I was genuinely wowed watching the unboxing last night. It was fun to watch it, and we had so many people in the chat last night. It was a really fun experience.
That was really fun.
Yeah. So congratulations to everyone that's going to get this, or everyone that will be getting this. This is a really exciting piece. This one's perhaps a little bit less exciting, but I think executed fairly well. This is the Suicide Squad King Shark. We have more photos of it.
What'd you call this, man shark, the other day?
Yeah, I don't know why I put this on the show sheet again. We talked about this last week. I just realized that right now.
This reminds me of Baby Shark. Every time I see this, I hear that Baby Shark song.
Oh my god!
There you go. I think they kind of let it down a bit by only giving you the one Starro, and then talking to Bob Dylan. Also, the fact that they didn't include the little jelly-like creatures in the back there. What do you think about it, Dean?
I think it's adorable. Kind of expensive. I mean, I guess he's fairly large, but I mean, you get what? 5 points of articulation, if that. No different shorts. He wears 2 different shorts in the movie. That'd be very easy to just throw in there.
The prison shorts.
Yeah, the prison shorts. I mean, it's cool. I can see why people would want this. It's not for me, but I like it.
This is why. Like, do you really think they're gonna do the line of Suicide Squad?
No.
At this point, probably not.
I think no.
That's the problem, right? It's gonna be. What are you gonna have? You're gonna have him, one character on the shelf, maybe do a couple other ones.
You could theoretically put Peacemaker
they did
with him.
Peacemaker, but though I think that's Peacemaker from
his own show.
Right?
It is.
Yeah.
Is there much? Is there much difference?
No.
No.
It's
Okay.
literally the same.
Yeah, but regardless, okay, Peacemaker. What else?
You have that third party Idris
Polka
Elba.
Dot Man.
Oh, and the
Third
Polka Dot
party
Man.
Idris.
They did Hot Toys Polka Dot Man?
No, it's
No, third party.
No, you're not mixing a third party with your Hot Toys. Come on.
Oh, people do, John. It's
I'm
fantastic.
sorry if that offended anyone, but
you don't have any Hot Toys behind you. I don't think you should speak on.
oh,
the
okay.
matter.
See you guys.
Yeah, Ben wasn't looking at what's in front of him. He was just looking at the front of
Or the left or right. It's okay. Ben will take my spot. See you guys.
Wow, Captain Canada.
Oh man, love it.
He quit the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
I didn't realize it was that easy. My God, I would have used that 6 months ago.
Chris Letty, with the super chat. Look at these sweet angels. What a guy.
No, this is an easy pass. I appreciate because look, this did take some R&D, right? It is a whole new body, right? They haven't used this kind of body with anything, so I appreciate what they did here. And I'm sure a lot of people like it. I haven't watched the movie, but for me, this is an easy pass. Just because I'm more of a completionist, I'd want to have the entire representation of the squad. I think this is something you can hold off on and pick up at a much cheaper price afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, John. I completely agree. If you're planning to get this, probably wait on it. The only reason I'd consider it is for the representation. He is part of the No Neck crew, so that's pretty cool. But beyond that, there is just because they didn't release any other because they didn't release any other figures from the line, like you said. I just don't see the point in them doing this one. It is something semi-different, but to me, it doesn't necessarily scream Hot Toys from the images. Now, I'm sure it does look better in person, but just one that does not interest me in pretty much any way. Even though I did enjoy the film, but. Yeah, a huge pass for me.
Marco, though, when you're rationing your shower water for Gigi next time, can you imagine having this guy in the shower with you? Like, that would be cool. His little duck toy on the side. I could see it. I could
rather have you in the shower with me. But.
Oh my!
Wow, that's whack. Can we sell your bathwater?
Nothing amongst friends. Selling my bathwater? Oh,
that's the new top tier Patreon benefit. Just a little baggie of Marco's bathwater.
Real quick, I wanted to say to Chris Liddy, it takes one to know one, bud.
He is a
sweet angel over there.
Chris is the man. I like 1/6 Shooter's comment, bloody arm stump. That would have been cool to come with this figure. Just something different. Something that we wouldn't normally see Hot Toys do. Just like a whole bloody arm in the box. I think that could have been really cool. I don't know what they would have done much differently to make this a whole lot better than it is. To me, it looks just like the CGI representation of the character. I think they did a pretty good job. A couple more accessories to justify the price. Sure. I think this might be a candidate for the bargain bin down the line. I'm kind of crossing my fingers, because if it hit the right price, I would actually consider it. I think it's still fun. I've got Peacemaker coming this year. I'm excited to have him. It would be cool to have him something to pair him with. But I could also see this guy with some random figure. Like, Deadpool goes with everybody. You could always put a Deadpool with a King shirt and have some fun with it. Like, there's some things that you could do. It just has to be the right price, I think.
Would you get a bargain bin Harley Quinn if you got this guy?
The one with the knees? The funky
yeah,
knees?
I mean, any of those, right? The funky knees, the funky shoulders.
Harley Quinn is in the Suicide Squad,
really?
just not in that outfit. But I honestly would. If it hit the bargain bin enough, then I would. I was hoping for the red dress Harley Quinn, because she was badass in that scene. But I don't think we're going to get it, unfortunately, at this point. So take what it can get. But some of these figures, I think, in order to complete the line, especially if you did pair them with third party, you'd want to try and get as much for your money as you can. So.
Wow. Was this movie before or after Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock?
He's not in this one. But
I know that, but I'm saying, like, is that why, or was that before?
No,
I didn't check the timeline ahead of the show.
Okay.
That's a homework.
No, that was way before.
It's a soft reboot, basically, right? So they kept some of the aspects that worked from the first film, which admittedly were very few, and pretty much rebooted the rest.
I thought his character was the best.
That movie was filmed in Toronto.
Idris and Will Smith played two different characters.
They are different.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even
Deadshot
a
and
reboot, is
Bullseye.
They were all part of the Suicide Squad at one point, though, so it's still like canon to the comics. But that Will Smith figure was actually badass in terms of the likeness on that.
I agree. That's one that I've wanted for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I think he sells for quite a bit now.
This is great. So Inart Aragorn. This one comes in two different versions. So you have the plastic haired version at $335, released in Q4 2023, which is the standard version, or the rooted version, which I believe the window is closed already, but that one goes for $480. Accessories wise and just general execution wise, we were talking about the Patreon chat today, and it might have been Tukatri, but he was saying that the Gandalf that they didn't show a lot of spirit. Like, it wasn't like, you could tell, at least I could tell, I genuinely felt like there wasn't a lot of passion in that project. But with Aragorn, looking at it, it's hard to not notice, like, the level of care that they went into with this figure. Admittedly, I'm not as anal about the outfits as I am with Gandalf, but, you know, in my mind's eye, when I think of the different outfits that he wears, when I think of accessories like the pipe or the shards of Narsil, like, this thing has pretty much everything that you could want. And the portrait honestly may be genuinely one of the best portraits that I think I've ever seen. Looking at it here compared to the movie stills, and I actually just saw this movie Sunday in the theaters, or Saturday rather, and there's things that I was kind of keeping an eye on to go back and compare to the portrait. Things like the scar above his lip, or I don't know if it's just like a little bit of a patch, but that they've done perfectly. The nose, how it kind of tilts just a little bit, done perfectly. I think the eye color is fantastic. The rooting is excellent. To me, this is such a step up from a company that's already given us really, really solid prototypes. This is great. Now, in terms of did I order it, I have not ordered it yet. I think I'm going to hope that window opens. I had to collect responsibly, and I didn't want to place an order just yet. But I think this will be something that will be in my collection at some point. But really thinking about it and thinking, you know, do I want to go down the rabbit hole and get 9 figures from Inart if they do the full fellowship? Or would I be okay with Gandalf and a Frodo? It's a tough one. I think for me, this isn't my favorite look for Aragorn. I think the LSR Return of the King with the black and the armor and the sort of the kingly outfit, I think, is my favorite look for Aragorn. But this is certainly the look that he's pretty much in for most of the first 3 films. So I think this is a great release. I think it's a great price. I'm going to pull up some of these accessories here in a second. But Dean, go ahead and take over. I'm going to grab some of these. I guess I left them out of the show slides.
Yeah, you had mentioned that you could tell so much time and care went into this figure, which is very apparent. And I think they were definitely like, we need to this time because Zach and John are going to be fucking right in our ass if we don't get it right. So let's really take our time with this one. But dear Lord, this, and I've been kind of chewing on this since these pictures came out, but this is without a doubt the greatest, not just Aragorn figure I've ever seen, but figure I've ever seen. And granted, it's a prototype, but they delivered on the Joker, so I have all the faith in the world that this is what you're going to get. Hot Toys, it's like, oh, maybe 80-90% of prototype is what you'll end up with. This, 99% is what you'll end up with. It's fucking insane. There were like photos, and I was like, is this a test photo from like behind the scenes, or is this the figure? And I had to really look at it, and I was like, holy shit, like it's next level good.
Now here's a look at some of these accessories. So obviously you get like the sleeping packs, the quiver, you get his ranger sword, Boromir's gauntlets. You get some different hands, some arrows. I could probably ask for a few more arrows. You get Eowyn's, I forget what it's called, the elven necklace, which is very well done. You get the damn pipe that he used for like one kind of throwaway scene, which I fucking love. You get his dagger. And then with the premium, you get a few extra hands, the bloody hands from the end of the first film. And then you get the friggin' shards of Narsil. Now, I was talking to Takatri, and he was saying, like, they should have given you the statue to hold the shard pieces. And, yeah, maybe. But at the same time, it's like, this is already pushing $480, and, that would absolutely add to that price point. But it would be a very premium display option, sort of like you have the jail cell, the jail bars with Joker. I think that would have been another premium thing that they could have done. But yeah, this is fucking crazy. And again, I had to take John's advice and collect responsibly. I tapped myself out buying a bunch of shit this past week, and I respect the window, right? I wasn't able to swing a pre-order. Hopefully it comes back in stock and I can do so in the future. But I'm not losing sleep over it. I know this is going to be everywhere once it releases. People are going to either have changed their minds or not be able to come up with scratch. So I know I can get it in the future. But, man, this is incredible. And I'm curious what John, Marco, and Ben have to say about it.
I really think there's not much more to say than what you guys said. This is breathtaking. It's breathtaking. It's them stepping up to the plate. Of course, it's just the prototype. We'll have to see the production, but like Dean said, they've shown us the production with the Joker, and it was a home run. The attention to detail here in that portrait is mind-boggling. I will put a challenge out to the community. Let's have some fun. Find me another figure, 1/6 figure, that even remotely comes close to this figure here. That remotely even comes close. This is outstanding. I do, in the back of my head, though, have to think, on what planet were they thinking of bringing that prototype to that show that they did? What was the thought process behind that?
It's, Evan Starr, thank you. I don't know. And I remember we had seen a video of what looked like this, of this actual portrait, and we were like, well, why are they so different? Like they should just be the same portrait without the rooted hair.
Yeah. Even the rooted hair version, Zach, looks outstanding. The sculpted.
The sculpted. John, I have to.
It's outstanding, Zach. Outstanding.
Read it and weep, John.
Oh my goodness.
Who is that?
That wasn't it.
Find a better.
Looks like
this is the.
That wasn't it. I was about to say, what the fuck? It was bad. It wasn't.
What the fuck was that?
That's the sideshow release from like
Oh my
12
lord.
years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, Box is saying Viper didn't want to show up, but they showed it anyways. That's fine. I think it caused drama, but it helped them in the end. But damn, we were like, when that came out,
to talk about.
oh yeah, we were like, what the fuss? No, this is Inart. I hear guys that they weren't on Inart's side, said no, I'm not gonna get into that line. They saw this and boom, already picking up the Gandalf, picking this one up. If they did the entire Fellowship, it would be very difficult to resist getting into this.
And I did want to point out, we're not technically sponsored, but if you go to 16kit.com and use the code CW1010, the number 10, so CW10, you can get $10 off your next purchase on 16kit, and you can use it if either version goes back up. I think the sculpted hair version's up till the end of February, but you'll be able to take $10 off.
And Gandalf may still be up, right? I think today's the last day.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so, yeah. Yeah, this is fucking
1/6 shooter mentioning nothing mass produced that's better. Maybe the Captain Jack Sparrow. That's a fair.
It's a good figure, but
yeah, it's a very good figure. Yeah.
There's levels to this, and I think this is
a
step above.
It's different.
Granted, I only had the second DX. I never had the first one, but.
Dante also brings up a good question: is Hot Toys going to become the affordable, low-grade collectible? No.
That ain't affordable for sure.
Inart isn't going to take over Hot Toys in any near future. At the pace that they're going. So, I was having this discussion with someone earlier. I'm fine the way things are. Hot Toys is doing their thing. Inart does their thing. Inart is that higher end experience, right? Inart's moving at their pace. It's not down your throat multiple figures at one time. Because I think once you start throwing that into the mix, QC becomes an issue. Keep things the way they are. You can have Inart for your most loved figures. They're a little bit pricier. Have that representation, but then keep Hot Toys where they are doing their thing and pumping out licenses and so forth. Because I really do think that if there's the potential for, if Inart gets to the scale of Hot Toys, if it's not done correctly, we can have a drop in QC.
100%. Toybox says John from Inart said tonight in Riley's interview they were planning on doing the main characters of the Fellowship, and depending on what collectors want, they could do more. So a peek behind the curtains, when Inart first came out, I had a talk with John, and he was asking me for sort of like if we were going to go deep into this line, give me like your must-have characters, would really like to have characters, that would be neat characters, and then we kind of gave them like a tiered list, talking to some of our Lord of the Rings Patreon members, and definitely the Fellowship was on that list, so it's great to see that they want to do that. And for me, it still goes back to like I would be perfectly happy with an Inart Frodo and an Inart Gandalf, maybe an Inart Sam. I would be very happy with that. I love Aragorn, but then I got to get Legolas and Gimli, and I'm not the biggest Boromir fan, so I can't see myself spending $500 on him. But I also wouldn't want just the 8 of them. So, I was telling Marco, like, you could really break down the Fellowship into a few different groups. You have like the 3 hunters, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. You could have your wizards, the Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White. You could have Merry and Pippin on a shelf. You could have Sam and Frodo and
that sucks
Gollum.
That's
like you could split it into a lot of different ways if you don't want the full 9, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, and that goes back to trying to collect a little bit more responsibly. Bob Dylan says, thanks for the CW10 code. I used it yesterday and also found an obscure figure at 1/6 corner for a great price. Yeah, 1/6 corner, great people. We're still trying to dot the I's and cross the T's with them, but the same code for both stores, and they both give great discounts, so be sure to check them out. Marco, what do you think about this?
So this is a figure or a character that I had completely written off. When I saw the initial Phase 1 list from Inart, I was like, okay, I can count him out. When I saw that initial prototype, like John was saying, I was like, oh gosh, this is horrendous. I'm now worried for Inart. But then after obviously seeing the reviews for the Joker and then them dropping, we're talking about controlling the message, put your best foot forward. These pictures are exactly what we're talking about here. It made me change my mind, honestly. I am afraid because I, initially said like, it's not a character that necessarily speaks to me. But I do enjoy Lord of the Rings. I think this release is just so strong in the design, the materials, the sculpt. I went with the rooted hair version. Everything about it was checking boxes. I'm also a big Michael Fassbender. No, I'm joking. Viggo Mortensen fan. So that's another check of the box. I did love the Shadow of War games, the character in that is part ranger as well. So love the design of that class basically. So there's a lot of reasons I could talk myself into getting this. Now the price is really kind of crazy. So I'm like, do I want to get the Gandalf and do I want to get Aragorn? We know Legolas is coming. So I've decided, I'm going to pass on Gandalf for now, which I know a lot of people would not be doing. If they do a white version down the line, maybe I would get into that, but I'm going to get Aragorn, I'm going to get Legolas, and then we'll just see what the rest of the line looks like. But I think those two will be good enough for characters that are pretty badass that I would like in my collection. So yeah, they've really, because they came out so strong with this one, it really converted me and they have my money now. So
you still did it, eh? You still did it. You asked us to talk you out of it. We did our best. We gave you all the comments. I think it was Zach that pulled you in. It was Zach that's like, you only need 3. It's fine. That's fine.
You know what? Because even that rationale, because I'm not a completionist, so I'm fine even just having one character from a line. But it's just so good. It just looks so freaking good.
Crazy.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, did we want to feature that super chat, Zach?
Yeah. So SpongeBob SquareBalls with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. That I still need a Zoe Kravitz in our Catwoman.
Sure. What were you gonna say?
Nice. I was gonna say because there's a few people rattling off characters they want to see, like Arwen, Saruman, Elrond, Galadriel. I think it would be a travesty if they didn't do King Theoden. Arguably one of the coolest fucking characters in the whole trilogy of movies.
I want a Bombadil.
Oh, he's
so boring.
So how
boring
with a voice chip singing.
Yeah. So there are so many great characters you could include. The fucking main Uruk-hai that kills Boromir. Just to name a bad guy, or even Sauron, which would be huge. I think in 6 scale he'd be what, like 24 inches tall or some shit.
So Dean, we know they're doing the wraiths or a wraith.
The ring wraiths, yeah.
You obviously have 2 from 2 different companies. Do you think there's a lot of room for improvement? Given what we're showing here. Okay.
The third party one, a waste of money. I can't give those things away. The Asbus one, it's not bad, but the armor is like kind of clunky and gets in the way of articulating, and it's just a mess, honestly. It looks cool standing there, but that's about it. So I am excited to see the raids, how those turn out.
Hopefully I want a Witch King though. Come on,
$400. Oh, that'd be dope, dude.
That would look crazy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to say Theoden, 110%. That would be amazing to see.
So Aragorn and Legolas, I think, are my 2 favorite characters from those films. I know that they only have the license right now to Fellowship. I have this moral dilemma inside me, similar to what Marco had, but I think I'll be able to talk myself out of it a little bit more. There are so many properties that are coming from all these companies, not just Inart, but so many companies are having all these figures coming. I'm having a hard time prioritizing what I truly want versus what I think is absolutely amazing and feels unpassable. But then I start thinking about what my collection will look like down the line, how many figures I ultimately might have, and I find it to be a bit daunting. I think this looks insanely good. Like to the point where I'm like, how could I not have it in my collection and still call myself a 6 scale collector? Like, right? Like,
wow.
But then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, but it's not my top 10 favorite characters necessarily, or even films. As much as I love the films, I love a lot of franchises.
It's not in your top 10?
I hate to say it.
Oh my
they're
Lord.
Not.
I want to see that top 10.
I know. I'm going to get canceled. This is my last show on Collecting Weekly.
Bro, if I'm still here
after
disliking the Dark Knight trilogy, you're fine, bro.
Fair.
Yeah, we can
fair.
get rid of both Canadians in one show. Love to
But
see it.
I also know
There goes half
myself.
your audience.
I also know myself. If I do get this figure, I'm going to then get the Legolas. I'm going to then look for some of the other figures because not that I need to be a completionist about it, but I know that I'm going to want to have some level of pairing, some level of display. So it's not just a $500 one figure. It's more like a 2 or 3 pack, like Zach's recommending. But that's still upwards of $1,500. Again, there's a lot that's coming.
I would say if you wanted to narrow it down, I think Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, but from Helm's Deep. So not this movie. That would be a solid shelf. Because those 3 in that battle are iconic as hell.
The Gimli rooting is going to be expensive. He's going to be a short little guy, and he's going to be pricey. That's a heck
Real
of a beard that
expensive.
guy's
Yeah,
got
dude,
going
I'm-
on.
I think the solid fellowship, if they did, where we first see them together, it will fly off. It will fly off the shelf. It will fly. At this quality, damn.
I really liked this girl in high school, and she really liked Lord of the Rings. She was like all about it. And for Return of the King, she was like, okay, would you go to this movie with me? And I was still pretty heavily in the friend zone at this point. I didn't really have much of a chance, but I'm like 100%. I'll go to this movie with you.
Oh boy.
And I had to go. We had to stand in line. This is back before you could buy movie tickets ahead, so I'm aging myself here a little bit. But we had to buy a ticket. We stood in line out front of the theater for 4 hours. And then that movie was about 4 hours long. I was an 8-hour movie day. And she ended up dating my best friend the following week.
Wow!
You left no
Did you
time
pay?
for
Hold on. Did you pay for the
Stunning.
movie?
I 100% paid for the movie. I'm a
Oh
chivalrous.
my
I'm a
God.
chivalrous
Cucked.
best friend.
I'm coming
I
all
was
Alberta.
right in that square in the friend zone. Hate to see it. So
Is
maybe
that why
that's
you
just
don't like Lord of the Rings?
maybe it
Is
just
this
burned.
like Zach with the Captain
100%.
America?
Yeah, it just burned
Damn
my
you,
ass in the
Stacy.
wrong way.
Damn you.
Damn you, Joseph! In 1997, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, became Lindsay
I'll
shortly
never
after.
forget that first day of kindergarten. This kid was acting bad as shit all day, and I wanted that damn Captain America from the toy box. I was an angel all day, and he got it at the end of the day just because he cried at the end of the day. Fucking pussy.
It almost says John from
don't
Inart
forget.
said the Joaquin Phoenix Joker shouldn't be any less than 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, those.
You
did-
better
he
be
did
giving
say
me a Murray with a bullet in his head.
Jesus Christ. 2 things. Just to interrupt the Inart
Murray.
stuff, and John, we could just keep this all as one chapter. But Asmus just announced while we were live. I mentioned it, throughout the year, but
had
Asmus
to
has
just-
promised for
you
years.
had to
I
do
know.
it,
I
Zach.
had to bring it down. The highest highs and the lowest lows. That they were going to offer the Gandalf the White upgraded portrait that they've been saying literally for like 5 years. They're finally doing it with the head from the white figure. So $120, you can buy the head, and it will fit onto the body of the original figure, which explains why they didn't use the magnet system. So,
Wait, so this Gandalf the White was they released the Gandalf the White previously already?
yeah, and it looked like Monkey Gandalf the White, and so you could
Okay.
take that head off, throw it in the bin, and then, for $120 you could upgrade your old figure. Which, if you don't want to pay the $400 for the full figure, not terrible, not great. Now
okay.
let's go back to the hot seat. I think we got another minute in the hot seat. Let's see.
boy.
Who is this for? John.
Why? I get nervous at these.
I'm rooting for you. Man.
I feel like we've already answered this question. I should have stopped us earlier, but I'm gonna throw you a softball today, I guess. Now that they've shown us Aragorn with Legolas in the pipeline, how crucial is it for Inart to finish the full fellowship, and would you be disappointed if they didn't?
I think from a business perspective at this point, from where the quality that we're getting, they would be crazy not to give us the entire fellowship, because I mentioned it previously. I think that if it's well executed, that line would sell instantly. It'll have no problem selling. What was the rest of the question?
How crucial is it, and would you be disappointed if they didn't? /why?
I'd be disappointed if I was collecting these figures, Aragorn, Gandalf, and then found out later that they had no interest in doing the rest of the Fellowship. I would be disappointed. The thing here is, at this point, they had excellent communication where they had told us that, hey, they told us they were doing the Aragorn and Gandalf and didn't mention the rest of the Fellowship. So they set that expectation. So I don't think I'd necessarily be disappointed, but I would like to see it. It's good news if they do plan on doing it for sure.
Copy that. So we had a little bit of an interview that 1/6 Republic did with Viper, which again I feel like that should have been our interview, but that's neither here nor there. And so they have let's see, 9-10 questions. I guess we could just read through this. So this is with Charles Zendrum and the 1/6 Republic admin team. So can you kindly tell us how you approach choosing a character to make? And by the way, stop me if you guys want to chat about any of these questions. Can you kindly tell us how you approach choosing a character to make? Do you or the team decide, or is the licensor decision? And Viper answers, this is the translation. Inart is for now a very young brand, so when it comes to choosing which character to start a project on, we will still prioritize the interests and passions of our team. In order to obtain the hyper-realistic and hyper-authentic result, many hours of study and character interpretation are needed to assist in the recreation process of each detail and to grasp the facial expression of the characters. All of this requires strong motivation, which comes from genuine love toward the character, and this genuineness also serves as the reason why we started engaging in the collectibles industry. I think that goes without saying that was after the Gandalf, because they did not research that particularly well. We can tell you are also a movie lover, and your projects on Joker and Gandalf the Grey clearly show your passion for movies and collectibles. What other characters or even media-like games or even TV would you like to create in 1/6 scale if you had the opportunity? Again, Viper, in 2022, Inart is in its prep period. Most of our time and energy is spent on the basic prep work, trying to initiate our entire workflows. In October and November of 2022, we held a convention event in Las Vegas and Bangkok, respectively, which we revealed part of our R&D plan: Dune for the film series, Michael Jackson for the Master series, and the Anime Characters Project. We believe that in the future, with Inart's works for multiple series and various themes, we can offer more options for our fans for collectible figures. We have seen you produce some amazing pieces in your custom work, and now for Inart, you get to do it with the backing of a revered studio in Queen Studios. How did this partnership come about? And they say, in the past 5 years, Queen Studios has achieved notably great results at an amazing growth speed, different from the original plan, which we intended for Inart to be the artwork branch of Queen Studios. Inart is now an independently operating brand, paralleling Queen Studios under, I'm not even going to attempt to read that, but it's this other company, in order to better serve our fans with different preferences by releasing their favorite artwork. The two brands are now by each other's side to move forward together simultaneously. In the coming years, we hope to show Inart to the public in a fresh state and a brand new way. So that's the first that we've seen, that, at least for me, that Inart is now a parallel brand to Queen Studios rather than a subsidiary. With the 1/6 figure market served by many companies, it is a very strong and competitive scene. What would Inart do to bring something different to the market than other companies? Viper says, for Inart, what we are doing now is fundamental, which is all bringing more excellent collectibles in the future. We believe we do have an advantage over others in terms of the head sculpt design and the recreation of every single detail. Inart has always been in pursuit of the perfect recreation of every detail that a real object has. We are trying our best to apply the movable feature in all ways possible, besides finding better ways to design articulated joints for our figures. We are also trying to let parts of accessories achieve a movable effect during the design process, hoping to bring a better collector experience to our fan. Now, this was the most interesting to me. Will there be any warranty on Inart products? There's a warranty for every Inart collectible. The detailed introduction and terms are all included in the user manual we prepared for each piece. Collectors can complete the entire after-sales process independently based on the user manual after receiving the products. Currently, Inart promises a warranty period of 180 working days for non-international damage, with a customer service representative following the entire process. However, for better efficiency, we suggest to first get in touch with the local distributor. If there is an accessory damage, a new accessory for replacement will be sent directly to the distributor. When encountering a problem, please refer to the user manual and follow the specific process. We'll try our best to deliver excellent after-sales service to our customers. Question 6 is, Inart Studios has produced statues and busts of various scales. Can you speak to any future plans that Inart has for 1/4 scale figures? Additionally, are there any plans for interest in developing 6 scale vehicles?
Good question.
Speaking of I believe that's 1/6 scale vehicles. We previously announced that there would be a project on the motorcycle from the Batman, recreating the structure and details of a vehicle is brand new work for us, which requires a lot of time spent on laying down the foundation. With that being said, the process of making this motorcycle has come close to an end, and our fans can see the work very soon. In terms of developing quarter scale figures, we haven't made any official announcements before, considering that our project schedule is quite packed. However, we believe that as we continue to study and explore more product lines on various scales will emerge. Welcome all to follow the Inart for more possibilities. What role, if any, will consumer/collector feedback to Inart prototype pictures play in your process of development and to the final collectibles release? Viper says, for Inart, achieving character likeness and the perfect recreation of details is our goal. So in the brand slogan, we emphasize the concept of scaled down. Scaling down is not only to reduce the proportion, but also to maintain all the details and achieve a lifelike realism. There are 1,000 Hamlets in 1,000 people's eyes. After we release prototypes, we pay a lot of attention to the feedback coming from our consumers and collectors, which may give us new ideas to improve our work, and is certainly going to help set the direction for adjustment before we start the final production process. We hope that Inart will be a brand that is very closely connected with collectors, and we would love to see everyone expressing their ideas and thoughts objectively so we can witness the birth of a fine collectibles line. I'm going to stop there just for a second. I feel like they're saying how accurate that they want these things to be and how perfect they are. But when we've shown them things like the pants prints, and I know that's such a small detail, it kind of sticks out to me that they're basically planning to go forward with the production knowing it's inaccurate. Does that bother y'all at all, or is that just me?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, to some extent, right? I mean, especially at this price point, that's kind of what you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
I think,
and they go into all this detail about like how much research they're doing, but like we had to point out there's
things.
2 staff. Like
I will say, you're not wrong. 100% you are correct. But I will say that they definitely have a learning curve, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
In this,
I don't know.
It's not a good excuse though.
Yeah, it's not a
but
great
is it though?
excuse.
Like Viper's been making figures for years, and
yeah,
Inart
but also
is
like it's still Inart is Queens. It's not like they've never done it before. So it's like, well, how much research are you doing into even your statues? So it's kind of like, I don't know, like they're still so new in the 6 scale. Like they were like, oh, maybe it won't matter. Like I don't know, but obviously it does.
I think they really learned from that. I think Gandalf was a mistake, and I think they learned from it. I think they were at the point where it's like, okay, we did this figure. They gave us the staff. They were going to go back and do the pants as well. Should they have? From a collector standpoint, of course. Ideally, they would have delayed it, take it back to the drawing board like Queen Studios does with their statues. They take it back, go back to the drawing board. Scarlet Witch as an example. And they could have easily done that with Inart. But I guess they figured, hey, we give them the staff, that'll keep them quiet. Is that right? No, it's not right. But I think maybe they even looked also at the severity of the issue. Maybe the print on the pants, they feel once it's displayed is not worth it for them as a business to go back. They felt,
but then they went and made the pants all short.
Yeah, so you could see them.
Yeah.
And then also it's like that's one thing, but then for them to then say like we're taking the 1-to-1 scale prop and scaling it down. Like if you're setting that expectation in a formal, obviously not a live interview.
Yeah.
Where
the thing here is Gandalf's out already, right? Gandalf
No,
before
he's not out
no,
yet.
well, I'm saying he's out as in the sense he went up for pre-order. That was before this interview. If this interview had happened before that, take it as like going forward. I
hope not. I think that's a weird.
I think that Gandalf that was a big lesson to them.
Yeah.
Bro, can you imagine if the Gandalf comes out and the fucking print is there on the pants?
Bro, my name better be on the fucking box, bro. I'd do a backflip.
Crazy.
Let's blow through these quickly. I'll just summarize question 8. There are 30 people working on the Inart team. Question 9, what are some of your inspirations in the 1/6 scale world from painting, designing to sculpting? Viper says, inspiration comes when we are standing in the shoes of the customer. If we were the customers and and when we get our hands on our collectibles, we would ask ourselves, what do we want it to be like? And how much playability does it have? Following that, we use the movie as a reference to double check, again, every detail. We want to create a collectible figures that are in line with the settings of the movie, that comply with the details in the movies, and then have excellent playability. I also want to mention the head sculpt production. During production, we will use a large number of reference photos from multi-angle screenshots of the character in the movies to the daily photos of the actors and actresses. The reasonable optimization of the hair and makeup on the head sculpt is worth our discussion, since there would be facial changes among different ages. Again, going back to the details. Question 10, any hints that you can offer OSR for 2023? And they basically said that they are they're not going to say anything. They want to keep everything a surprise. So they said they're planning to add the Master Series and characters from Japanese anime to our R&D plan for the next year, and we welcome more collectors interested in various fields to follow them. So again, that's the first time we've really heard from Viper outside of like just short little videos. What do we a lot to unpack there. I'll leave it to you guys. I've kind of given my thoughts throughout reading that, but
I don't think more or less anything's really changed here. The bike is exciting to hear that it's almost finished, but I think nothing out of the ordinary here. I want to get this guy on camera on an actual interview. I appreciate this communication, but there's nothing like a live discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of with John, it's like none of this is new information, so it's like kind of underwhelming, but also it raises some good questions, like Zach is saying. It's like, well, they're saying all this stuff, but then we have instances like Gandalf, and I feel like it's our responsibility to now go through every release with a fine-tooth comb. But I mean, just judging on the Aragorn, I mean, that thing is incredible, even down to coming with Boromir's gauntlets or the pipe, right? Is in one scene or two.
Yeah, it might be two, but yeah.
Yeah, like in the pub, and then I think on the.
I think when they're celebrating
on the mountaintop, or where Frodo gets stabbed.
Yeah, it may be in a few scenes, but it's like such a blink and you miss it type of deal.
Right.
To your point, Dean, on the learning curve, though, I mean, we'll see this next release after Aragorn, but it feels like with this interview with Aragorn, they're learning, they're evolving, they're like, okay, they're not perfect yet, but they're getting to where kind of what they advertise and where we want them to be.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do think for the price that they're asking for, I do think the attention to as many details as humanly possible is really important, especially because a lot of the references that they have are actual visual references. I mean, you don't have to read the book and try and assess what Gandalf would wear. You can watch the film, you can go to the museum, like you can take so many visual references for your research, and for people's favorite characters, it's really important, and it will make the difference. It will be what sets apart Inart from Hot Toys down the line. Like John said earlier, I agree with him. I don't think Inart will ever necessarily overtake Hot Toys. I think it'll be an entirely separate conversation in these streams, as long as they're taking it to the next level like they said that they would. So the learning curve, I agree. If we see some continued improvement, I'm just so excited to see what they can do. I want a Daenerys Targaryen. Nobody can ever make her face right. I believe that Inart can make a beautiful Daenerys. So cross fingers.
I like the way you say her name.
That was
it's very Canadian, yes.
That was beautiful. Now, Ben, I have a question for you. The hot seat.
Hot seat for Ben.
Ben. And I'm going to work hard on this, Ben. So
no.
I'm going to really put my knee in their neck for this one.
Oh. Wow. I'm pretty sure
good.
that can't.
Ben, if you could ask one question. Wait, why do I have this damn wrong thing? If you could ask one question to Inart or Viper, and I will do my best to have this question answered. Not promising anything. What would it be?
Does Viper speak English?
All right, Ben.
Can he actually come out? Can he actually come on and address us in person, or will we only ever see written answers from him.
I love you, Ben, but I think I would eliminate you from this whole month's competition if that's
That
the
was
one
the-
question.
Ask one question. Does
I wanna
Viper
know.
speak English?
That seems kind of racial.
It's not racist. I want to know if he speaks English because you guys said we only get this communication from the guy. We can't ask him any questions. He's the head of the company.
man.
Why can't we ask him any questions?
You get an interpreter.
Oh, Ben. I don't think he does speak English.
It's okay, Ben. Ben had a rough day today. It's a rough.
I did have a rough day.
Inart?
I don't want to talk to John all the time. I don't want to talk to John. Riley
fuck
Reviews
did I
had a
do?
great interview with not you, John, with John from Inart. He had a great interview with him today on his channel, but he can never answer. He can never answer any questions.
Sam says you blew it, Ben. You fucking blew it.
Ben comes on like
Emotional damage.
Ben comes on dressed like he's from Alabama and then asks that question. I'm just you're trying to be American a little
Speak
too hard
English,
right now,
boy.
bro.
It's not like that. You guys twist
Why don't
my
you get
Canadian
down here and
sensibilities.
speak
I
some
want to know
goddamn
if we're
English.
ever going to hear from the man himself. That's what I want to hear.
You want to come on my show? You better learn the language, boy.
No one sells.
Go again.
No one sells figures in my town.
Oh my god! I just want to hear
You
from
want
the
my
man himself. That's
hard-earned
all
Canadian
I want.
dollars?
He can have a translator. I'm okay with that. I just want to. I want to see him. I want to see him answer questions, whether that's through a translator or whatever. Do you speak English? Will we ever hear from you? That's what I want.
I'm saying to you,
It's all in love. That's
you
fine.
should give it to somebody that don't know any better, because that's a fugazi.
It is love. It is love.
I love the poorly educated.
Sorry, I don't even know what to
Would
say.
be
Ben. That was
Andre.
your one
Andre,
answer.
hold on a
the one-
second. Andre, that would have been the best. I have that clip on club side. I have that clip. I have it. Yeah, that would have been perfect. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Do you speak
guys kill me.
English? Do you?
Oh my god! I'm as red as my shirt right now, boys.
Oh,
I'm as red as my
Ben,
shirt.
Viper,
Can't
do you
have any
understand the
fun.
words that are coming out of my
Hold
mouth?
on, it was
And
this
Ben's
one.
like,
I'm on
nobody
track to get
understands the words
canceled.
that are coming out of your
100%.
mouth.
I'm gonna get canceled. I love everybody though.
It's okay.
Oh,
This one
where's
here.
it- Where is it, John?
This one. I don't know.
What country you from? What? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English in what? What?
Oh, Jesus, Ben. I was genuinely gonna ask John if he could answer us one question. And that's the question that you go with.
Okay, take two, Ben. Take two.
Oh my god.
Oh no, there's no take two. That was it.
John's probably sitting at his computer like, oh, I wonder what question they're going to ask. And then Ben comes out with that.
I gotta know about
I
that
didn't
Michael
intend
Jordan
it to be
news.
mean though. It came from a good place.
I know
will
you don't
say-
have a mean bone in your body.
I don't.
Ben.
I don't intend it to be mean or racist.
All I know is that if John's going to be on Facebook talking about a Michael Jordan, they better deliver a Michael Jordan.
I
You
think
can't
that
say
was
those
Michael
things.
Jackson. I really
honestly
do think.
don't think that John
think it-
knows that MJ is Michael Jackson.
I think
It's
it
a
is
basketball
Michael
figure,
Jackson.
though, that was in the picture. Come on.
Look,
come on.
it was so out of left field that I don't know.
I don't have hope for it, for sure.
Anyways, okay, let's get back on track here. That was Ben. I honestly, Ben.
I'd give him a point just for
I'm
entertainment.
gonna give a point just for that's exactly
Yeah.
what I was about to do. I'm gonna give you a point for that because that was awesome.
Oh my god, I'm so
Oh
hot.
gosh,
Oh
yeah,
my
you are,
God.
Ben. Here's our hot
Super
seat
red.
Damn,
score
dude,
for
next
today.
time I'm in the hot seat, I'm just going to say something slightly racist. So I can get a point.
Well,
Didn't realize I could break. The
You could
rules.
say anything than the answer you gave, and you could get a point.
you would say anything, and you just said
You ask Dean the question, he repeats the question. That's the-
Don't give up on me now, Dean.
that's Dean's MO. He just repeats the question, tries to buy himself a few more seconds. I'm sorry, what?
yeah, exactly. You guys kill
I
me.
hate all of you,
I'm crying.
especially Margot.
Okay, so
Wow, what did I do?
I'm just kidding.
initially I was going to title this customer service, but then something offended me that happened today, and I don't know how deep we're going to go into it. But customer communication, I think, is what we've retconned it to. I'm going to start with Alter Ego Comics, and I got to say, I've personally never bought from Alter Ego, but I've seen so many amazing things like this from them that genuinely, I would like to make a purchase at some point. Now, this is part of their email blast, Mark's Remarks. I believe they send them out every now and again. I think, I want to say last year we had mentioned one of these on air. Here we are again, a new year almost upon us. It's been a while since the last Mark's Remarks, so I figured today was a good time to share some thoughts with you as you round out 2022. First, thank you. 2022 was a rough year for Alter Ego and for many, many small businesses. It may have been a tough year for you too. So sincerely, thank you for shopping with us, for helping to support a small business. Whether you made one purchase or 20, you matter to me and my team. 2022 saw many of our suppliers undercut us on price due to a variety of factors, which resulted in piles of unsold inventory. In nearly 20 years in the comics and collectibles industry, I've never seen anything like it. And due to the 2+ year lead time on these items, the insanity may continue well into 2023, but it won't last forever. Here's my prediction for what will happen mid to late 2023. Retailers cut orders due to the market being flooded with product. Suppliers cut production due to retailers cutting orders. Items going back to pre-selling out months in advance. The market corrects itself and customers then wait to pre-order, end up paying higher market prices on the secondary market. Some manufacturers may go out of business. Some retailers may as well. Some of you may decide to stop collecting, and that's okay. From mom and pop shops to bigger companies to individuals, we all need to decide what's best for ourselves. But Alter Ego isn't going anywhere. 2023 is our 20th anniversary, a milestone that we would not have been able to achieve without you. Here's what we're working on for 2023. We're investing in our website infrastructure, changing platforms for the first time in 9 years, doing a major website audit to make browsing and shopping as frictionless as possible. We're revamping and simplifying our VIP rewards program. More on this soon, but rest assured you will not lose any existing points, and our rewards program will still have no restrictions. We continue to offer free double boxing on all standard size 6-scale figures. At the end of the day, my promise to you is that Alter Ego will continue to be a trusted source for limited edition collectibles that provides value and peace of mind to you. As always, I welcome your feedback on what we're doing well and what we can improve on, so please hit reply and let me know. All the best to you and yours in 2023. Live long and prosper. Mark Boker, CEO of Alter Ego Comics. Now, that is... I feel like I have a pretty good mind for copy, in the sense like we've been doing this for a long time. Sometimes we have to make statements to people, posts, thanking, whatever, even internally, you have things that happen. We have to kind of rally the team. But this is like, there's levels of this. This is next level. This is one of the best emails, statements, whatever you want to call it, I've ever seen.
And this isn't uncommon for Mark too. He speaks it like it is, and he writes these things very, very well.
In fact, I'm going to sign up for their Alter Ego email list right now, because this shit was so well written, so to the point. I mean, obviously there is, he's not going to say it, but I think it's very clear that this is about Sideshow undercutting their retailers. Like, let's be frank. We know plenty of local stores that have had this same issue. We've seen it time and time again where, I want to support my local retailer, but I can go into their store and due to those restrictions set forth to them, the item might be a certain price, or I can buy it on the distributor's website, free shipping, 20% off. It's a no-brainer sometimes, and I do support the mom and pops, but for the average collector, I think if you're collecting responsibly and you want to get the most bang for your buck, it's hard to ignore some of these discounts that some of the distributors are doing. So, I think this is such an incredibly well-written email, and the customer communication, there's going to be some good, some bad here. So this is obviously the good. This is such a well-written email, and very, very impressed by Mark and the team there at Alter Ego Comics.
I mean, I like that he closed it with a Star Trek quote. Just saying, Vein 21.
We knew you would.
That sells it for me right there. No, it was definitely well written. I agree with you, Zach. I think it's really good to get this type of communication that feels really honest, and from the person's soul. He's trying to tell people what's up without freaking people out, and I think that's a good thing. I like that kind of messaging. Does need to happen more often. I agree with you. I'm tempted to sign up for the newsletter myself as well, if we're going to continue to get honest communication. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Alter Ego's always been great.
I'm gonna drop their link.
Is the guy's name Mark? Is that whose remarks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark's remarks.
when you first brought it up, I was like, is he addressing some guy named Mark's hate comments or something?
Now, Ben, if you can ask Mark one question, well,
do you speak English?
Yeah, all we see is him typing, but can he actually speak the language?
Anyone else have a take on that?
Ben, you're gonna Ben. That one's gonna haunt you a little bit.
That's okay.
I
walked into it.
At least till
I
March.
deserve it. I deserve
Let's do the end of March.
I deserve some bad
one.
pokes on that one. That's valid. End of March for sure.
I will jump in and say, like, I really commend Mark for putting these out because, like, he humanizes. Collecting sometimes could be just, we're giving our money to a black box, especially Hot Toys, who doesn't communicate particularly well. Sideshow, obviously, we know that they've got really solid customer service, but they've, have some shoddy ways of communicating with us. And I've said before, predatory advertising practices. So the fact that he's so upfront, I just love that, and it makes me want to continue to support them. I've got a lot of pre-orders with them, and sometimes there are better deals out there, but it makes me not want to cancel, knowing that he'll be on the hook for it, and it kind of makes me want to continue to support them.
You love to see it.
Anyone else? No one else all at once? Anybody? No? Okay.
It's good.
What's going on,
now,
Feezies?
Marco, you had a situation. I'm gonna let you lead us off, and we'll go into it.
Nobody likes a dented box.
Yeah, and so I just want to preface this by saying I know to like 99% of people, if not more, this is a non-issue. This is not a big deal. This is the ultimate 1% problem right here. But I will say NECA has kind of charged a premium for a premium limited edition collector's box. And so for me to receive this response, so here's kind of the timeline of events. The pre-order went up in April, so pre-ordered in April, received the item in December. So kind of a long lead time. You have to pay all up front, $165, which includes shipping. When I received the item, it was really like a busy month, so I saw it there. I looked at it really briefly, saw that it was dented. I was like, well, that's a bummer. I'll deal with that after the holidays. So finally reached out to them, and this was the response back saying, we don't guarantee that there will be mint condition packaging. It's designed to protect the figures and nothing else. It's designed to be thrown away, which to me is a really shitty response because the item description advertises the box. You can get these exact figures for significantly cheaper just from Walmart without this box. So to me, it's kind of unacceptable for this response. So what I did was reached out to their social media team. So we were kind of talking about communication. Reached out to their social media team on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Absolutely zero response. So that's kind of uncommon, I would say, for companies, right? Like Southwest.
Especially NECA.
Well, actually, so the more I research on Reddit, it seems like about 5 or 6 years ago, their customer service was really solid, and it seems to have really regressed over the last few years, where people are like, even if they give you an exchange for a figure, they'll kind of be dicks about it, is what I've read people say.
I was gonna say, because you said 5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 years ago, their customer service was really solid. I remember the exact opposite. 5 or 6 years ago, the fucking dudes were on Twitter like shit talking everyone who complained about NECA. I was like, man, fuck these guys. Wow. That was one of the reasons I never liked NECA to begin with.
Okay.
But
so to Marco's point, this is the price difference. So $118 if you go to Walmart and buy the Secret of the Ooze, the 4 turtles, you're paying $165 for the difference between $165 and $118 is just a box.
And I will point out that the item description, 4-pack in VHS packaging. So you're advertising the packaging as the item.
Right.
So kind of to go on here. So reached out, didn't hear back. They do have a customer service line. It's not readily available, but if you search NECA New Jersey number, you can get their customer service. I called them. They wanted really nothing to do with me. The lady said, we reviewed your case. It's not enough damage. We don't guarantee the packaging. I said, well, can I return it? No. Can I exchange it for another? No. Can I get a partial refund? No. Can I get a full refund? Absolutely not. And the lady said, I'm not going to repeat myself. This conversation's over. Hung up.
What
I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Dude?
Wow.
So I called back. Another guy was like, she's the head of customer service. If that's what she said, that's the answer. Let me put you on hold. He put me on hold and then hung up as well. And I was like, at that point, I was fuming again, I don't want to act entitled here because most people will think it's a little dent, just get over it. It's just the box, but I paid for a pristine collector's item box, and for them to not offer me any options was frustrating, to say the least.
Yeah,
and there was no,
not
like,
even offer you let me send it back to you, give me my money back, I'm not happy, and to tell you no, like, excuse me.
Yeah, how about like a coupon for 20% off for the next person purchase?
That's
pretty crazy.
I like you,
This
Marco.
man serves our country. Okay,
He's definitely.
I like you, Marco, but I'm not on your side because
really.
The community watch. I didn't get an email, and
that's why. I was gonna say, so what
happened?
So what pisses me off? Hang on, if I can just interject just for a second.
Please.
So in the email, they say they kind of like stand behind. There are stores that offer packaging in mint condition that they charge additional amounts for the service. That is a half truth. Now, first and foremost, Entertainment Earth, one of the best in the biz. They guarantee that any packaging for in-stock action figures will be shipped in the best condition and that it is the best possible packaging available anywhere unless otherwise noted in the product name or description. There's no cost for that. So there's that. Now, Big Bad Toy Store does do that. However, they have 2 employees verify the package is in perfect condition. Then they shrink wrap it in plastic and box it in a perfectly fit box. So you're paying $3 extra for like an hour of these people's time. And I would also note on their website, packaging like what Marco received is classified as substandard grade packaging, which gets a discount on their website. So for them to stand behind this whole thing of like, well, other companies charge more and this and that. One, it is a fact that you are paying for the collectible box, first and foremost. 2, to not offer any solutions to the customer is ridiculous. And 3, the places that would offer a box like that do so at a discount. They're substandard packaging. And Marco said this, you haven't mentioned it today, but if you were to sell this box in the future, all things being equal, if I'm selling a NECA Turtles box and you're selling one, our prices are the same, but yours has box damage.
Yeah, it's automatically.
Yeah, that's a difference right there. So,
and I know that another person in the community, I won't say who they are, but they let us know like, hey, my box actually came damaged too, and I ended up trading it away. It was a bummer, but nothing I could do about it. And it was kind of sad to me that he kind of felt defeated already. Maybe he already knew that NECA would do nothing for him. So
see what's sad about this, and what causes dishonesty in the community between collectors and companies. Is realistically, you could have said that the figures, everything came damaged, and taken a baseball bat to it. But you were honest. You were honest, and look where honesty gets you. It gets you nowhere.
To see it. Agreed.
But I don't know what the final result was. So
hang on. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Or Marco's gonna get to that in a second. Gigi says, Marco, you're over here embarrassing me, but I will say this: Marco was very nice. Normally he's a dick, but also the call was very entertaining for me. His legal argument though was correct. Andre said, you should have asked the customer service lady if she speaks English and then demanded to speak to a man who knows better. That's how we handle our thing in the CW crew. Tell him, Ben.
Okay.
And then Ninja says, she said, I speak goddamn English, motherfucker. I won't be repeating myself again. I spent yesterday talking to phone calls from Ben asking about my vocabulary language. Oh, my God. We need, I'm going to put it out there to Manny. I need a picture of Ben.
I know.
Photoshop with the Julius afro that says, English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
No. Or you have him on making a customer phone call. Oh, never mind. Okay, go.
Oh, gosh.
I just want to refer back to the email, if you could pull that up.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like, what does he say?
Also, Marco blacked out his name as if he's not on this panel. And he didn't even black it out that good.
No, because when I posted on social media, I didn't want my name necessarily to be on. There's some anonymous accounts and stuff.
It says, our packaging is designed to protect the figures inside and to be opened and discarded. Like, you keep your figures in the box, you fucking weirdo? Yeah, right. Like almost insinuating, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, excuse me.
But it's
that's
like,
the whole fucking point of the VHS packaging.
That's why I bought the shit.
Yeah, it's like, hello, like, do you not know what the fuck you're selling? Apparently you don't.
They don't.
Like,
they don't.
This whole situation is so insulting. Like, to not just be like, you know what? This guy's clearly unhappy. I'm not sending him another box, whatever. But give him his fucking money back and leave us alone.
It costs them a drop in the bucket to do the right thing.
I'm sure every package is
have
insured.
your money back.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Wow.
Like,
we speak English in this country.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. That's fucking beyond me. Like,
I
to
felt
be
like I
like,
was being
sorry, you're
gaslit.
stuck with it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
Okay, you've only reissued these fucking turtles 30 fucking times, and now you're putting them in a special package. So let me buy that one, and I'm not happy with it, so I can't have my money back. What the fuck? Fuck you, NECA.
My dude.
I'm calling on all my listeners to boycott NECA.
everyone
I would have.
tweet NECA.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm
Marco.
melting my fingers as we
I would
speak.
have torn it a little bit more because the picture you took, it looks like
I
it's.
didn't want to be fraudulent though. I'm just presenting it as it is, and I
Fraudulent.
get it. It's like
Just look where that
it's
got
just
you.
Like, it's like literally this is how it came out of the
Yeah,
packaging.
you know what you should do? Find someone else who has bought one recently, kick the fucking shit out of your balcony window, drag it down the street as you take it to your friend's house, and be like, hey, tell them that you fucking need a
So what's the end result? We gotta know.
Yeah, so
We're
let me
building a
just say
suspense,
this.
John. Jesus.
Yeah. So I did one other step after they hung up. I went online, found a bunch of emails to their like executive team, and just said, "Hey, I don't want anything anymore. I'm just sending you this email and letting you know that your customer service hung up on me twice. As a collector who these items are intended for, I want you to know how frustrating this is, and hopefully you can make changes like at a systemic level." Never heard back from them. I wasn't expecting, but I just wanted to show them like, hey, like just like Viper put out, like we try to step into the shoes of the collectors. It's like what is a collector even thinking when they end up like getting treated like this? I wouldn't accept this for any other company that I deal with in my everyday life. So, NECA's lost a customer for life, I would say. I will have this package, and this will be the last NECA item.
That's how it ended?
No, so here's.
Oh, sorry.
Here's
Okay,
what
hold on.
collectors can
Hold on.
do.
Do Andre
Yeah.
quick. Andre.
I thought
Ben
we
asked
were.
the
I thought we
greatest
were friends.
question of the
Andre.
year. Hashtag toxic.
Jeff
I
Morris is.
thought we were friends.
Jeff Morris is funny. He says, "Now you know. Step on the corner before sending pictures."
There you go. Learn my lesson. So I will say, I did a PayPal Pay in 4 for this because it was a 9-month period before I received the item. PayPal was like, well, it's not in the 6-month window. Nothing we can do for you. But I also put it on my credit card. So I reached out to my credit card company. They're kind of currently reviewing the options right now. Normally the credit card companies are really good about this. I sent them all the images for support documentation and kind of let them know that I wasn't, just satisfactory. I wasn't satisfied with the product. So we'll see what they do for me. But that's kind of the end result there. I didn't hear back from anyone
ridiculous.
but this email.
I hope to God that your credit card reverses the charges and you get to fucking keep the figures and NECA doesn't get any goddamn money.
No,
they could have easily just taken the figures back, given you back your money, or sent you another fucking box. It takes 2 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
But
that's
they
the thing, dude.
refuse to do it, and I hope to God they end up with nothing.
Yeah,
Not
but I
your
don't-
money and not their figures.
I know with credit
Fuck
cards,
NECA.
it's not easy in situations like this. It's not easy, unfortunately, for
I
them.
will say,
to-
John, with my credit card, anytime there's not satisfactory service, there's maybe been one time where they didn't uphold it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
normally
you
they have
They're
so much
usually pretty
clout,
good.
yeah.
Honestly, Marco, I would. That's fine. Do the credit card, but I would not let this like the way you. I don't know.
Well, John, I don't know
what would you say,
else
John?
to
What would
do
you
though. Yeah.
recommend?
Did you ask? You asked to speak to a manager?
Oh yeah, and she said no. I am your manager.
Yeah. No. No. No.
Yeah.
No, that's not acceptable.
Bro, did they
So
win any
that's-
awards this past year? We need to revoke them.
I'm gonna double check. Actually, they did. I'm hereby
Did
with
you
the
throw
power.
the social media at them that
I
you're
did.
on?
So I went on Twitter.
No.
Facebook.
Did you tell them you're on the most popular, nationally
Well,
syndicated
I should've,
podcast
but
show?
Top
But
200 in
kinda
Dubai and Vietnam.
That's fucking Joe Rogan doesn't even have
I
shit on
should've.
this.
But I do hope that we can cut this segment and maybe put because I researched.
I
on
will
Google.
100%.
We can't cut
that.
the segment. It was a little unprofessional with the.
Oh boy!
Do you
No,
speak
that's-
English?
Oh,
you
well,
can't.
now you've said.
Oh,
now
I'm
you've
cutting
said.
it. This is perfect. This is what we are. I'm not gonna.
But
put
when
my-
you-
I'd be
you
interested if
YouTube
I called
search.
them. I would be interested if I called them. If you sent me the pictures, I called them, pretending to be you, and we redid this whole scenario.
Yeah.
They'd send us a bottle of maple syrup and be like, "You're good now, eh?"
That would be cool. Hi, my name is Mark. You'd have to share your everything with me, but
Now it's
No,
it's in the
they
hands
probably
of the
has
credit
a
card
fucking
company.
name on a post-it note. Don't answer Marco's
Never answer this guy's call again.
And I think they're a
just
small
think,
enough company that they probably could do that, where they could just screen my call. But go ahead, Ben.
I think it's just unprofessional that they hung up on you, especially if you were actually being polite. If you were being belligerent, calling them assholes, like whatever, like belligerent, there's no place for that. You have a good customer service call. You're not happy as a customer. You deserve to have that, handled. And I can understand the slippery slope nature of that, right? If you, as somebody who does stream, went out and said, hey, I had a dented box and I got a fresh one, look at that. They might get 100 calls all of a sudden. They clearly need to address how they're shipping this out. If they need to have a double box feature that you can click and decide whether or not you want to pay the extra to protect the packaging, right? Like, they need to have helped you and then find a solution for future collectors, because you're not going to be the only one. In fact, this is probably
Apparently
the 15th.
he's not.
This might be the 15th call that lady received that day, and she was just done with it, right? But on the other hand, it's just such bad press for such little gain. Like Dean's saying, it would cost them absolutely nothing to make this right.
It blows my mind. Like, I mean, let's what is this? $115 that might cost NECA $50, right, for this set.
$165, Zach.
So
for 4.
Okay, but what I'm
figures.
saying is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, Marco, but you buy a lot of collectibles. Like, you have very deep pockets for this stuff, and the amount of money that they lost from losing you as a customer is so much more than and me personally, like, I won't be buying from NECA because of this until it's fixed.
Won't.
I encourage all of our listeners to do the same.
I don't buy them.
But the thing that bothers me is, like Dean said, this is like an inconsequential thing for them to have made right. Now they've taken it to this level and frankly pissed everybody off.
And
It's
you
insane.
can go back and listen to the show. I was always very anti-NECA because of how they treated their customers. And recently, very recently, within the past 2 years, I've started to come around and actually buy NECA products. And I always tell people, man, I used to really hate NECA, but here I am buying their stuff because they're actually doing really good. I voted for them in the past 2 award shows because they've stepped up their game. But I am after this, no longer again am I going to be buying NECA products. This is absolute horseshit.
Vane says Ben was the only one not to agree on the boycott.
Jeff.
In the power invested in me as the Oxfather, I hereby strip NECA of their CW award for The Last Ronin until such a time that my man Marco is made whole.
Yeah.
Jeff says,
go ahead,
just,
Jeff.
Love you guys.
Yeah, just my thoughts, but the collecting community needs to be made aware that they don't give a damn about special packaging if it arrives damaged before they place any orders to them.
100%.
You know what?
We know.
The thing with this is, okay, someone may look at this and say, well, that's not really significant damage, right? Someone may look at this. But I want you to take this away. This isn't the stuff you buy at a Walmart off the rack, number one. Number two, if this was Sideshow Seconds, you'd get a 15% discount, I think. Right?
No doubt about it, yeah.
To not even have a discount offered, I think overall, I think personally, if you want my opinion, Marco, I think it was just laziness, customer service wise. I think it was just laziness. She didn't want to do up the report.
I think it's a systemic issue, though, John. I think that their company doesn't really give a damn about the collectors. They have so many licenses. They're making so much money. There's good times since the pandemic have been rolling. I think now they may be eating some of this because, the collectible market has grown, but, the economy is kind of changing, and companies have to be better to their end user or else they won't continue to buy from them. Go ahead.
Zach,
100%.
I know it's not technically our show, but I would be in favor of removing any NECA news from the Small Talk show.
Oh, that is...
Because I don't even want to even mention the shit they're going to come out with because I don't think people should be giving them their money and risking getting treated like this.
And every time the
sense?
NECA segment comes, you say, boycott, have a speech or something.
I would remove it altogether.
Message Sean.
I will say that they produce like a lot
I'm
of
going to bat for
interesting
my boy,
looking
I'll say
stuff.
that.
I love you guys for that. I appreciate that because I felt like I was getting gaslit. I was getting very frustrated. It's like I'm feeling like, am I making too big of a deal out of something, or should this be made right for me?
No,
I agree,
I
Jeff.
think it goes back to what Zach was saying, that if you had two packages next to each other, a mint one and yours, you're taking a hit on that no matter what.
Exactly.
Yours
Yeah, it
will
came
be
to me
worth
already.
less 100% of the time.
Yeah.
doubt.
And yeah, it's just fucking insane to me that they didn't even offer you a discount on your next purchase. Like, how fucking easy would that have been?
Do anything to keep me as a customer.
You don't even need
Anything.
to send. All you need to do is to send an email with a fucking code on it. You don't even have to get up out of your desk. Just be like, "What's your fucking email, Marco?" Okay, fine. Here, 20% off your. Leave me alone.
If you shut up about the box, we will.
Equan says, I will boycott NECA like Larry David's friend boycotts Mocha Joe's. Feezy says, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Sideshow have the same approach on Hot Toys art boxes? They won't replace art boxes unless they're severely damaged. I will
Correct.
say you are correct, but the difference here, Feezy, is Sideshow isn't also selling a second edition of the exact same figure with a price that is 40% more.
And you have the option to
Sideshow's
double
gonna
box.
give you a discount on that box.
You can double box
Yeah, it's
as
gonna
well.
go on Sideshow
If you
Seconds.
fucking email them and say, "Hey, my box is fucked," they're gonna be like, "You know what? Here's whatever percentage off."
I think they
That's
have
how
to
easy
now.
that is.
I think they have to now because of Sideshow Seconds, right? Because technically Sideshow Seconds is damaged our boxes, so I think they.
Especially that's on the front of your box. That's not even on the back. That's right where the eye goes to read Teenage Mutant Ninja
Wow, dude,
Turtles.
thank you.
It's front and center. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
We can see that, buddy. That's a lot of passion there for.
I like
I'm,
it.
I love the
I'm
passion.
pissed.
Love it.
I'm
Love it. I like
pissed.
it.
My boy
here for it.
Marco is over here getting bamboozled.
But I think Gigi
my God.
said it right. I think Gigi is the detective in this case.
Legally, he is correct.
No, he was too nice.
Probably.
Star
Wars
like,
Universe
please.
says,
I would have
"I
been like,
don't accept this."
motherfucker, give me that my money back.
But I do have to say though, like I always want to be nice to people that are working because I don't know their background. Working freaking sucks.
language
Like
they
I don't
speak.
ever want to give like venom towards someone who's just doing their job, right? But this lady, these two people I spoke to were particularly nasty. So yeah, I should have been a little bit sterner, more
Star
stern
Wars
with them.
Universe says, I don't accept this kind of damage, creases or wrinkles, spot marks on Hot Toys art boxes. I'm paying hundreds of dollars for a collectible.
Precisely.
I demand mint, pristine condition on the box.
Yes, sir.
Especially when companies like Entertainment Earth do it for free. Fuck.
The
okay.
Fat Thai Kid inside asked also, does NECA ship with a shipper box like Hot Toys? That is a question. I was curious about
That's
that
a good
too,
question,
Marco.
actually.
What is the question? Sorry.
Does
it have a
NECA
shipper?
ship with a shipper box?
No, they don't. So it came with the brown box and a little bit of protecting over it. But
Okay.
no shipper box actually.
Gotcha.
And I will say, I think let's see, Ninja Squirrel saying, Marco, if Jordans came in a box like that, would you really be sending them back? If you're not going to sell, then shouldn't be an issue. I think because the packaging was the reason I bought the box. Like I want to display this package.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. I played the hell out of this VHS, so I kind of wanted a nice box so I could have it displayed somewhere nice.
And I
which
think-
I never care about until this one.
I think that's the point, though, right? Like, I'm not saying that every box you get needs to be pristine, but if you are paying $50 extra for the box, it should arrive pristine. That's what I'm saying.
the whole
Right.
point of this is the box.
Yeah,
Let's.
Which this response was just so baffling. But can
we'll
I
cut
finish
the
on a
segment
positive
out.
note?
Yeah,
Let me
of
just
course.
finish on a positive note here. The community is so beautiful. Equan told me, "Hey, bro, if you want to switch, just let me know. I got a pristine one. I will send it to you. No worries at all." Loco Lou said the same thing. "Hey, I got a pristine slipcover, I will send it to you." I'm not going to take them up on that because I don't want to deprive them of what they paid their good money on. But I just love the people in this community, and they're absolute real ones for that.
Sweet angels.
Absolutely. Let's move on here. So, Ben, some Exo 6 stuff on the customer communication standpoint.
Yeah, so I mean, I've talked a lot about Exo 6 and specifically these two figures, mostly because of how quickly they sold out on the Exo 6 website itself. I think for the Kirk specifically, it was about 3 hours after it was available to purchase that it was gone. And then Spock was the same thing. I knew what time they were releasing by the time I got home from work, which is about 3 hours later. It was also gone. So part of that is okay. I don't mind having, windows for pre-order. I like the fact that these are now going to be relatively rare. One of the concerns that I've raised in the past is Nanjin, the developer, has mentioned that there are really no replacements. So if there is a QC issue with your figure, they'll refund your money, but that's it. Like you're just going to be then without the figure, which is a bit of a tough nut to swallow in itself. But then I noticed other sites like Pop Culture and Sideshow and some of the other main distributors that sell these figures kept their pre-order window open for a really significant amount of time after that 3-hour kind of sellout window from Exo-6. So I voiced my concern that I was worried that those orders may not end up getting fulfilled. And some of the recent news I'm seeing in some of the Exo-6 groups and Star Trek community is that, at least so far, Pop Culture is the first to be refunding some money for folks now because they either didn't get the batch big enough or whatever. There's some speculation around why that would be the case. I don't necessarily want to get into that. But it's disappointing because it makes it feel like the concern I had for these figures and the people who missed out on Exo-6, but also then we had no idea how many were actually being released. There was no edition size. We had no real thumb on the pulse of this, that it made it stressful. And now people who are excited to get the figure are now disappointed, at least on the Pop Culture side. I'll be curious if we'll see the same from Sideshow and some of these other distributors.
Now, full transparency, there was dueling statements that were released. Pop Culture says, "It is with regret that we inform you that despite ordering the product from the manufacturer in good faith, we have been allocated no stock. Star Trek the Motion Picture, Admiral James Kirk. As such, we have no choice but to cancel your order and refund the monies. We have no idea why this has occurred. We have been allocated stock from every other product in this range, and we've been able to fill all customer needs. If you feel the need to discuss this further, please contact the manufacturer of the product, as we have not been provided with any additional information." I don't love that, by the way. "Sorry to disappoint you on this one. Here is a $20 coupon for you to use on your next purchase with us. To use this discount, please log into your account, blah, blah, blah." So, Nanjin, I guess the founder of Exo-6, the owner.
And the developer.
Said, "To be clear, we have never had any connection with this company. I myself do not even know them. In good faith, there's some strong words. Not too many really have good faith. Look at our history we can live up to in good faith. Then read carefully. This company purposely avoid mentioning our company name. I don't know, I won't read the last line, but so it to me it seems like it's more an issue with the distributor rather than the manufacturer, at least in this issue. And that obviously, if you follow that rabbit hole, you'll need to find where Pop Culture gets their things distributed from. Did you want to mention any of the other Exo-6 stuff, Ben, or do you want to leave it here?
I mean, I think we can leave it there for the most part. I don't love the communication that we've gotten from Nanjin. I do feel like a lot of it is very retaliatory and very self-interested, it feels. A lot of the time he feels like he's threatening people that, if you complain, if you provide any criticism, I'm just going to pull the plug on Star Trek entirely. It's just too much stress. I'm just going to pull the plug. And it has a lot of people stressed about that because for the first time in a long time, we are finally getting figures from these beloved, Star Trek franchises that we've wanted. And so there's a lot of people who are like, here's the criticism, but please don't cancel, please don't stop. And it's not good because he's then not receiving that criticism very well and taking it back to do better with it. It just becomes, as I said, very retaliatory. And he sent me some private messages earlier that were not pleasant, and it just gave me a look behind the curtain at kind of how he treats difficult situations. And it was unfortunate because I have more figures on pre-order from these folks, and I don't want to look at my collection and be frustrated by the developer's communication with me every time I look at them. At the end of the day, I'm excited about Star Trek. And anytime we have criticism as collectors, not even just Star Trek collectors, but collectors in general, it's because we're talking about things that we absolutely love and we want to see them do better on, because we want to keep giving more money to you, not because we're trying to make you sound like you don't know what you're doing or whatever. So I'm hoping that going forward, he starts reading a little bit more of the criticism as positive contribution and less critique, and that we don't see that retaliatory nature in his conversation. I'm just worried that won't happen, and we'll see him eventually pull the plug on Star Trek people.
It blows my mind the way that he talked to you, and obviously we're not going to share the screenshots or get into the specifics. I think you said you just wanted to keep it at that, but you are like the only guy in his corner YouTube wise.
Exactly.
Like, you know, you mention all this stuff. You make amazing videos on his figures, and for him to take one small thing that you said out of context and blow it up and essentially bully you, in my opinion, to like admit that you have some fault is
It's no different than the NECA
Damn,
situation.
dude, I really wish we could.
Well, and like I
share
don't
the screenshots because I wanted to throw something he said right back. It's so fucking funny.
But
I don't get just if anybody's wondering, because I do cover Exo6 a lot. Like I don't get anything from them. Like I don't get figures. I don't get discounts.
You
like,
get a bunch of fucking.
Does he know it's you?
Does
he know it's you?
He knows it's me. He knows it's me. And because he's watched my videos. He comments on almost every Exo6 video I do. And it's usually.
And you're like the most positive guy that I know. I'll be honest.
Well, and I did say that to him. That basically I said, you know, most of my videos promote your product. While I do provide critique, if you actually were to watch them, you would see that I'm still, even for figures that I don't love, finding ways that collectors who may love those characters can still find appreciation in them. And I said, you know, I started to get a little defensive, and I said, well, maybe I'll just stop covering Exo6 then.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, in the last 28 days, not a gloating, more just cool analytics, the Exo6 content is accounted for 80,000 of my channel views in 28 days. So there's enough Star Trek people out there.
Free advertising for them.
It's absolutely free advertising for them. I don't get anything from it. And if you're going to try and bully me into giving you positive PR, that's just not on. That's just not on. So it was a rough experience, unfortunately. But
this guy's a nut job. He posted on his Instagram a photo of the Inart Aragorn. Oh my god! Hold on a second. Aragorn. Jesus.
Son of Arathorn.
Show's going too late.
English, John?
LSR.
You understand? And he put this is what he put. He put the photo of Aragorn and said, "We can do this too, but Trek volume and expectation can't support this level of workmanship. Figures will be in the 400s level instead of 200s." On what planet do you think you're even going to come close to that, buddy? Concentrate on what you're doing at hand and your customer service, and don't worry about the other companies, man. You're posting Inart figures on your Instagram and then comparing it to your product.
So insecure.
That's ridiculous.
That's like a huge insecurity, dude.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
It'd be like posting your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend on your Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm this handsome.
At least.
At least.
I'm so handsome, but she didn't want to take the time to get to know me.
That's ridiculous.
Like,
but if we're being constructive, right? Because we're talking about communication with companies. If he put that screenshot out and was like, "Hey, this looks terrific. Like, this is driving our company to want to do our best. Like, we're pouring all the resources in. I think we've got a lot of bangers down." He could have
like,
really
hey, we have this is
that.
what to strive for in terms of
there you go.
You know, what could be done.
And that's the type of stuff that we'd want to see from a company. Like, oh, it's clear communication. He's humanizing it because we know he's the face of it. But instead, he kind of makes it a meme instead.
But the communication turns into, but we won't. We could do this, but we won't because we would have to charge. We would have to charge more, and Star Trek collectors then wouldn't get all the lines that they want. We only have 3 years to do this before I'm out and I'm pulling the plug. So if you want figures, basically accept what I'm giving you. Or like take it or leave it. Like okay. I mean, I guess so. But then there are so many people who are like, oh man, if Exo6 would just bake their figures in the oven for just like a little bit longer, they would all be awesome collectibles. I don't have anything against these two particular on the screen. Like I think they look pretty good. They're great representations of those characters. Yeah. But they've had some pretty soft ones too. And to say that they could do an Aragorn, but they just aren't because we would never buy it as collectors, I don't buy that argument either. It's an excuse. It's an excuse
to all their customers,
and it's an excuse to give lackluster releases and make you just buy it anyways.
So Andre says, and we'll move on because we are running a bit long. That's what makes it so much worse. Ben is a fan of the IP and his free publicity. You would beg for that exposure as a small company. 100%.
The problem is it's not.
Skip this.
It's Ben, but he has other people on the YouTube community spreading his word too. So that's why he's whatever. It's
Bluckbuster movie of the week. John, you picked a good one. The Gray Man. When the CIA's top asset, his identity known to no one, uncovers agency secrets, he triggers a global hunt by assassins set loose by his ex-colleague. This is like a perfect film. with like maybe 2 exceptions. I fucking love this movie. Okay, I'm gonna get my critiques out of it because it's all good from there. There's way too many drone shots, like shots where like the camera's
I
zooming.
love that. I thought that was so cool.
It was okay. Like the first like 6 times, I was like, "Yeah, this is cool," and then it was like doing it all unnecessarily
For the city stuff, yeah.
And the second thing is, I hate MacGuffin movies, and the MacGuffin in this movie basically does nothing and goes nowhere, and it's kind of goofy. But other than that, holy shit, Ryan. First off, Ryan Gosling should always have a goatee. Man is handsome with the goatee. And he fucking kills it. Chris Pratt is such a good actor. I love him in... I haven't seen the second...
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Was it Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt was in this?
I'm sorry. Chris Evans. I loved him in the first Knives Out. I'm not sure if he's in the second one, but he was great in that one. Great in this movie. The little girl, the bond that they have is perfect. The action scenes... I mean, this was like John Wick level, in my opinion, of like gun scenes and gun fights and knife fights and fist fights, and this shit was fucking awesome. I literally sometimes I'm not excited to watch the movie of the week, but like from the first 5 minutes, I was hooked. I need the Ryan Gosling 1/6 scale of the Gray Man. I think it would be awesome. But yeah, this is okay, Jacob, you fucking guy. This shit was bussin'. John, you picked a great movie. This may be one of the better movie of the weeks
for sure.
Oh my god, this and the great part is supposedly because I read the wiki afterwards, they're working on like a loose sequel focusing on the assassin that leaves at the end, the lone wolf. So that's going to be really cool.
That will be cool.
Dean, the Gray Man.
Yeah, this movie was super fun. The only scene I really had a problem with, which is in the trailer, so don't get mad at me, is the running on the bus or like the little trolley train thingy.
Ooh, yeah.
The CGI was rough, like real rough. Very Fast and the Furious, outlandish, but it still kind of fit. It just didn't look the prettiest, but like it didn't feel like an out of place scene. This whole movie is very fast paced, very action packed. The scene where he's handcuffed to like a bench or something, bro, had me stressed.
Oh my god,
dude!
And then he shoots the handcuff, and it like there's no more bullets.
That was
left.
amazing.
It's
The
like,
little humor
there's
was
like,
amazing.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I will say he kind of did nothing in that scene though. He was just kind of moving side to side.
Well, that was the whole point. I think that was the point.
Yeah, he was
right?
trying not to
Yeah.
die.
So.
But yeah, this movie is super fun. It kind of came out of nowhere too. It was just like Netflix, The Gray Man, Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans. I was like, fucking sign me up, dude. Fucking Chris Evans, take him or leave him, but fucking Ryan Gosling, I'll fucking watch that man watch paint dry. You know what I mean? Like, I love me some Rag Guy. So I was all on board when this movie got announced, and then it came out, and I was so pleasantly surprised. It is a fun movie, very entertaining. I think you could just turn the fucking lights off and enjoy it. It's not overly complicated. You don't have to watch it 10 or 12 times. You don't need a fucking timeline map showing you where the fucking...
How dare you? Tenet is that good though. It deserves.
Tenet is good. I'm just saying it's not like this movie's not one of those movies. You could just enjoy it for the sake of what it is. I don't think it's
people aren't like it, man. Furry Ewok says it was boring. I was like,
Oh,
what?
come on, Furry.
boring. I
I'm
didn't
like,
think
what?
it was
I
boring.
don't know what's going on today.
Let me. Well, he said it in quotes, so maybe.
Well, it's not only.
Let me.
I'll tell you after. Okay, I'll go.
Let me ask you this question to the panel. There's that one scene, like the movie's going so fast, and he throws the shotgun to my future. Never mind. Ana de Armas, the most beautiful woman on the planet, and she tries to shoot the gun, and it's not loaded. And there's like this really awkward scene where I was like, does he not trust her? Or was he? And he's like, oh, I was gonna throw you the bullets, but you ran. He's like, no, well, you fucking say the gun's not loaded.
You don't throw them.
And it came up again later in the movie, but I didn't understand. Like, I assume he trusts her, and he really did mean to not throw a loaded gun, but the movie like completely screeches to a halt for that like 1 30-second moment. Dean, do you have anything, or does anyone on the panel know what that scene was? It totally like took this crazy action scene funny. And then just like
it was injecting a little humor.
I think it was supposed to be
because he used it twice after that. Remember at the end, he's like to Evans, he's like,
no one throws a loaded gun. Yeah.
No, he's like, throw the gun, and he throws the gun. He's like, I meant with the bullets, and he's like, come on, man, no one throws a loaded gun.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
I mean, he's a trained assassin, but he's safety conscious.
But also they both kind of had that inherent trust in them because of the way that everything was unfolding, right? Like she makes him ride in the back of the car and everything. So I think they both kind of have that mistrust.
Yeah, I guess so, because she's also like a government agent. Isn't she?
Yeah, either of them could be killing one another at any point, right?
Oh my god, she was so amazing in this movie. She's so beautiful. My goodness.
Even with the worst wig she's ever been in, she's still bad as hell.
No, dude.
You're gonna be surprised at this. 46% on Rotten Tomatoes.
John, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I think this is crazy. I'm gonna be honest here. Can we be honest? I actually enjoyed this. This is crazy. I actually enjoyed this movie better than the last Bond movie.
I haven't seen the last Bond movie.
I rented the last Bond movie.
John.
It was.
Yeah, I could see that.
I actually enjoyed, and I like the Bond reference. I think the girl said
007 is.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was waiting for that because I'm like, oh, this is just like a. It felt like a.
Like an MI6 thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like a.
Even
the
music was kind of like Mission Impossible. Bond,
there was a Mission Impossible
there.
section there, I heard, and I was like, "Oh, you snuck that in."
They were ripping them off a little bit.
I knew nothing about this. The night we were filming the show, we were going live. I just went on Netflix and said, "Let me pick a movie," and this one came up.
Picked a good one.
So it was one of my favorites. One of my favorites. If you haven't watched it and you have Netflix, it's worth a watch.
100%.
Yeah, I will say this movie was derivative. It was uninspired. It was poorly paced. I had a lot of fun with it. It was despite all those things. Like, I think the cast really carries it. Like, the script is odd in certain places, but I just really, really enjoyed the cast and everyone playing off of each other. And the action was really well done, minus that spotty CG that Dean mentioned, because I definitely saw that too. But Chris Evans as a bad guy. So let me say this. It's almost like intentionally cheesy. Like it feels like almost like a 70s, like it's trying to go for that, kind of offbeat, a little bit cheesy humor, which I thought worked okay. And Chris Evans, some of his lines were just like cringe, but that was the tone they were going for. Seeing him in Knives Out and this makes me want him to come back as Captain Hydra. I think he needs to play a bad guy in the MCU. At some point in the multiverse, we need to get a bad Captain America. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Same thoughts on Ana de Armas. I think she should have probably been in more of it, honestly. My biggest critique, beyond the really scathing things I just said, the main bad guy, I did not enjoy his performance at all. I thought it was like pretty stiff. So yeah, wasn't a huge fan of that, but overall, I think it's like a mindless, you can kind of enjoy action movie that we don't really get enough of these days.
But do you think we'll get, Nick, trying not to spoil it, Star Wars Universe here says, John, the Rotten Tomatoes rating of 46% is the critic score. The audience score is 90%. I never care what the critics say, only what the audience says.
I just Googled it and it came up.
Do you think we'll get a second part to this film, though, Marco? Because
right.
they alluded to the fact. Well, but they alluded to the fact that the boss, like the main guy, likely had somebody pulling his strings as well. Yeah. And then I don't think we got to really. That never came to fruition.
Yeah,
so
that's what I said. Like the MacGuffin goes nowhere. Like
it goes kind of nowhere. So.
I think based on the reception of the movie, we probably won't get a second one, but I think it warrants revisiting this universe because it's just so much fun.
I have bad news, guys. We may have to go back through every movie of the week we've ever done.
Oh my god!
I think I've been giving the wrong Rotten Tomato score. I've been giving.
Oh, you didn't know there was 2 scores?
No, because when I do it, I Google, and then Google pulls up IMDb and just the critic score. They don't pull up both. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, 90%.
I can see a 90% in terms of audience. I did not know anything about this movie either. I wasn't even looking forward to watching it. I messaged you guys in the chat the other day to be like, "What's the movie of the week again?" I've gotta watch it and make sure I've got something to talk about. I put it on last night. I had some chocolate emoji circles with rice in it, super tasty. And I was a little green baked, and
What the fuck?
I sat back, ate all my rice chocolate, and enjoyed the absolute shit out of this movie. In fact, I messaged you guys afterwards to be like, that was super fun. You gotta like make sure you watch it. Chris Evans in this film, just his look, so the haircut and kind of the styling of his outfit and his mustache does remind me of Jim Carrey from Me, Myself, and Irene at the beginning when he's got the mustache. Just a little bit, and some of his kind of character personalities that were he was kind of quirky and like on purpose kind of over the top. Even some of like him getting, injured in the fight and like just how he like kind of played it up a little bit. That was fun.
Those were the rice cakes, man.
Yeah, those are the rice cakes. But no, I had a really fun time with this. It did give me the feel of like Mission Impossible, John Wick, James Bond, kind of a mixture of a bunch of them. Ryan Gosling is always, easy to watch in terms of his acting. I find him to be fun. But this one made me want to buy a figure of him. Like I would like a 6 in my 6 scale collection as well, Zach. I agree with that. As soon as I finished the film, I was like, he was just badass the whole movie and like unstoppable in so many ways, which was really fun, really fun. So I think some of the critiques are valid. There was definitely some cheesiness to the film. It wasn't like it wasn't Oscar winning by any stretch. It was meant to turn your brain off, just enjoy some crazy action. At one point I was like, is this like a Michael Bay film? There's so many like explosions and like accidents and fighting and like all the things, not realizing at first that it was the Russo brothers that did this movie as well. So that was cool. As I said, I think I might actually buy this one. It was one of those films that I enjoyed enough that I would put this on again just to watch the fighting and some of the action. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it.
Just make sure you don't buy it on DVD, please. No, I would
never.
Glad to see your step.
They're only available in Canada.
So Hot Toys did drop the Neon Tech, but we're already running pretty long, so we'll just touch on that next week. Dean, can we say
we've already seen the Neon Tech before? It's an old figure they rehashed anyway. We don't need to cover it. The 3 pillars, as John says. Give a quick shout out to Sean Fear, Ian Stevie, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, James Colley, Equan, Chris Valen, Serena, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Giss, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crab, Big Old Fern, King Zach, Caesar Merrickwen, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomansky, Rick DeGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alad Morgan, Two Cothry, Wad, Derek B, Eris Portillo, Mark Randolph, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, Carlos Saavedra, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don Madon, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Bunch of sweet angels.
Bunch of angels. Our January Patreon benefits are the Ox PD sticker, and you will get either the regular or the Chase edition. Those will be going out in February. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the digital hot seat benefits, $7.50 for the physical, $15 if you want figure fix assistance and the certified crispy certificate, or $25 for the Pog Deluxe sets and doubles all the stickers we send. Channel members, we got Mojo Z78, Absolute Erwin, DK Avenger 702, OMFG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Sam Giss, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris V, Big Ol' Fern, Cram, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Money Mendez, Sia Dreams, J Sia, B Chan, and Fat Batman. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Membership starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you are not. Taking a look at the network, we have After Dark tomorrow, Collectors Club on Friday. Maybe we'll try to work in an Ox PD Thursday if we can. I don't know. And then OFAC on Thursday also. Pose Wars, I want to say we're going to try to do it January 28th. So that should be fun. And we're kind of working on the reissue. Just depends. I know Ben has to go to town for a bit, so we will we'll work on getting that done. Of course, Brenton's question of the week every Sunday, and Live and Let Dice we just record on last Saturday. So stay tuned for all those. TeePublic, we got some great shirts there, and we actually just added some last week, so be sure to check that out. And John, can you read our socials, please?
Yeah, on Facebook we got Collecting Weekly Auxiliary as our main group page. On Instagram at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at The Everyday Collector.
Thank you very much. Do you guys have any things you guys got going on your channel that you would like to plug?
So not necessarily on the channel, but I did want to say a big thank you to Collecting Weekly for sponsoring me at the sensitivity training next week. I appreciate you signing me up. For everybody, just so you know,
I didn't have a choice.
Right. You have to sign up for this or you can't come back. I will not be here next week because I'm in California for work. So if you guys don't see me on Tuesday next week, don't stress. They haven't canceled me yet. They can't take me down that easily. But
Wait,
no,
you're
I'm just
gonna
kidding.
be in Cali?
I'm going to be in California. I know. I wanted to
You're gonna
connect
visit
with maybe.
Marco?
No, because he's being flooded out right now. So
Yeah, he's on the whole other end. It's not as close as you would hope.
It's not as close
What
as
about
you
Danny
thought.
Lee?
I don't know where Danny is in California.
I wouldn't go
should have
visit
asked.
Danny.
Danny's closer to me. Yeah, unfortunately, it's yeah.
Just kidding. I love Danny.
He's going to Southern California. We're in Northern California.
Oh, okay. So maybe Eddie or Mario or Usby. There's lots of guys down there.
Yeah, so I'll be in Carlsbad, California for this work conference next week. So I'm excited.
Be careful
about
what you pack. Over there, it's they check your bags.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. I wouldn't take that chance. In
Plus,
fact,
you can get it here.
I might buy new clothes just so I don't have any leaves shakes in my clothing. You never know. Just trapped in the sweater. You get trapped at the border. You never see me again.
There's a dog at the airport like,
that guy smell funny.
I fucking know you, go.
He's be saying you'll be 30 minutes from him. So
that would be
no,
cool.
He's kind of in that area.
I'll have some free evenings. So if Usby wants to join, we'll go for a beer. That'd be fun.
Would be beautiful.
He's like, yay.
I want to get some pictures.
Sensitivity training. He's going to teach me all about it. But no, thanks for having me on again, boys. Appreciate it.
And I will just say on our channel, we're going to do another episode of the She Said No podcast, even though Gigi's already back in school, but we're going to sneak one in because we got to talk Delorean. We got to talk Aragorn. So things that she really, really does not give a fuck about, but I want her opinion on. And then I will just say shout out to everyone on this panel. Thank you for letting us kind of vent about our frustrations with collecting and having each other's backs, and just a really beautiful community. So it was frustrating last week, but feel a lot better after kind of talking things through with you guys.
I'd like to mention too, for Club on Friday, we're doing a giveaway. We're not doing the giveaway this Friday, but there's a giveaway going on.
Damn, that was fast.
No, there's a giveaway going on, so be sure to tune in. You can check out it's for statue. You can check out the Facebook group, Collecting Weekly Auxiliary or the Everyday Collector. We pinned the post there. Check that out and get yourself, fill out the form and get yourself enrolled, because we were gracious enough to get a statue. You're going to be able to choose from 4 statues. Choose one out of the 4, and that was graciously donated by Dilber from Omenic. So be sure to go check the form out. Zach kindly put it in the chat. Fill it out and get yourself a chance to win a nice statue. Of course, you have to pay shipping. I think that's the only stipulation. But again, this is a quarter scale statue, so it's not going to be anywhere near the LBS 3rd scale that we did.
I appreciate everyone.
I do have one more question.
Damn, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Ben.
Were you able to figure out who was heavy breathing into the microphone last week, Zach?
Yeah, it was you,
what was
fool.
the result of your
It was you.
investigation?
Yeah, it was you.
I'm pretty sure it was you
that-
still.
no.
No.
You're pretty sure it was
how
who?
the fuck am I breathing when I'm talking, Ben?
Zach.
How am I breathing when I'm talking?
You are. Let's be honest. I want to see those tapes, Zach. Okay, I'm just saying.
If you look at the
chat
muted.
was wondering. The chat was wondering.
It was you.
I didn't get sent to breathing training this week, and I was still good this week.
It's a great debate. Everybody go back to last episode and find it.
Yeah, go watch the videos so we get more views. It was definitely
Love you
you,
guys.
bro. What are you talking about? I'm mid-sentence talking, and there's...
Bro,
like
for like
huffing on the
20
microphone.
Ben and I were on Will Fox Vacations channel on Sunday, and for like 20 seconds, I didn't mute, and he fucking messages me like, "Bro, you need to mute." I was like, "Fuck, Ben, don't you fucking cover me."
I was helping that time though. I was like, "But you're breathing a little loud. You're just like you're reading something." Yeah, I get into it too. I hear you.
Yeah, like you did at the end of CW. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. We had so much amazing support throughout the episode. Almost 100 people watching. We really appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your week. I'm Zach.
West.
I'm Dean.
Okay, I tried to fucking play it off.
Gigi's like, she's the second person to say, I look like Fern's Woody with the, or Buzz Lightyear with the cut. It's not. It's a hat. It's a hat.
You look like the Edgar cut.
She's like, you change your hair. No.
It's Edgar.
Holy shit.
Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Ben.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.